A great day and a hearty welcome to one and all gathered here for this hybrid meeting today. Hearty welcome to all the dignitaries who've taken pains to come here in person amidst the pandemic, and a hearty welcome to the delegates who've logged in through the online platform. On this special occasion, I request the dignitaries of the day, Dr. Shantakumari, President Foxy, Dr. Jem Kannan, past VP, Foxy, Dr. Ramani Devi, past Vice President Foxy, Dr. Malti Prasad, President in charge Triogs, and Dr. Deepa Mukundan to take the dais. Foxy, Triogs, and all the gynecological societies are centered towards women well-being, and today, along with the installation ceremony of Team Triogs 2022 to 24, we have the magnificent launch of Dira, the pet project of our Foxy president, where we step in to say a big no to violence against women. Let us start the meeting by invoking the blessings of the Almighty.
குறை ஒன்றும் இல்லை மறைமூர்த்தி கண்ணா, குறை ஒன்றும் இல்லை கண்ணா, குறை ஒன்றும் இல்லை கோவிந்தா, குறை ஒன்றும் இல்லை மறைமூர்த்தி கண்ணா, குறை ஒன்றும் இல்லை கண்ணா, குறை ஒன்றும் இல்லை கோவிந்தா. கண்ணுக்கு தெரியாமல் நிற்கின்றாய் கண்ணா, கண்ணுக்கு தெரியாமல் நின்றாலும் எனக்கு குறை ஒன்றும் இல்லை மறைமூர்த்தி கண்ணா. வேண்டியதை தந்திட வெங்கடேசன் என்றிருக்க, வேண்டியது வேறில்லை மறைமூர்த்தி கண்ணா. மணிவண்ணா மலையப்பா கோவிந்தா கோவிந்தா.
Today is one of the finest days in Triogs history, as we have gathered here for three good reasons. What is right and good doesn't come naturally. You have to stand up and fight for it, as if the cause depends on you, because it does. So today we have a Honorable Foxy President and a Chief Guest, Dr. Shantakumari Madam, launch the magnificent Dira program, the installation of the new office bearers for the term 2022-2024, scientific program which also focuses on violence against women. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. So let's start our today's program, and let's light the dark by lighting the Kuttuvilak.
कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपो हरतु मे पापम् सन्ध्यादीपनमोऽस्तु ते ओ दीपब्रह्मरूपस्थं ज्योतिषां प्रभुरव्ययः ओ दीपब्रह्मरूपस्थं ज्योतिषां प्रभुरव्ययः आरोग्यं देहि पुत्रांश्च मतिं स्वच्छाहि मे सदा रवेरस्तं समारभ्य यावत् सूर्योदयो भवेत् रवेरस्तं समारभ्य यावत् सूर्योदयो भवेत् यस्य दृष्टे गृहे दीपः तस्य नास्ति दरिद्रता शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीप
Thank you, dignitaries. Small cheer and great welcome makes a merry feast. I now call upon Dr. Malati Prasad to welcome the gathering.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's indeed a great pleasure and privilege in welcoming our dear President Foxy, Dr. Shantakumari Madam, for gracing the occasion by her real charismatic presence. Can we have a standing ovation for a few minutes? She's come all the way from Hyderabad in spite of the pandemic. So let us appreciate. Thank you very much, ma'am. See, we find it so difficult to even travel between cities, but Madam has taken the risk of coming by a flight from Hyderabad to be with us on this special day. Thank you very much, ma'am. We all know that she's truly an exemplary leader with an amazing driving force, and she's a key person behind many projects of Foxy, which we're all doing, and we're all working under her guidance. So, a very warm welcome to you, ma'am. A very warm welcome to the guest of honor, Dr. Selvam, who's the Vice Chancellor of Bharatidasan University, who will be present on the virtual platform. A warm welcome to Dr. Manimeglai, as Madam has not come, I think, HOD of Women's Studies, Bharatidasan University. She'll be joining us. Okay. A very warm welcome to the dignitaries on the dais, Dr. J.M. Kannan, Vice President Foxy, Dr. Ramni Madam, past Vice President Foxy, Dr. Charmla will be joining us. A warm welcome to Dr. Preeti Kumar, who will be joining us online, who's the chairperson of Safe Motherhood Committee, and whose guidance we conduct a very successful project called Thainalam, which has gone a long way in reducing the maternal mortality. A warm welcome to Dr. Kiran Mai, core committee member of VIRA, and not to forget our members, a very warm welcome to all of you who could come for this occasion in spite of the pandemic. So, warm welcome to the senior, junior colleagues and friends for gracing this occasion. Welcome to you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. I now call upon Dr. Ramani Devi to present a shawl and bouquet to our chief guest, Dr. Shantakumari. And Dr. Deepa Mukundan will hand over the memento. We are all very happy and privileged to have you, madam. The last 2 years, the world witnessed something it hadn't seen before. The pandemic of this magnitude throwing the world out of order. But nothing can come in the way of our society. As the saying goes, every cloud has a silver lining. We had learned to use the technology to its fullest, leaving no stone unturned. Even in all these toughest times, our Secretary Dr. Deepa Mohandan had stood tough and successfully marched Triogs forward with full of valor by her untiring hard work and a keen passion to accomplish her mission. The Secretary's report will be delivered by our Secretary Dr. Deepa Mohandan.
A very good afternoon to everybody who's present, both physically and who are joining us virtually today. It is indeed an emotional day for me because I'm stepping down as secretary. Just 2 years, um, exactly on February 16, 2020, I took over as secretary in a similar physical meeting. I had actually rolled out extensively wonderful programs physically for all our members. I had the calendar ready for almost 1.5 years when I took charge. So I was so enthusiastic. And then bang came this COVID pandemic. From March, we had the lockdown and we did not have any physical meeting, much to my dismay. So here is a second physical meeting that we are having, that I am seeing all of you in contact in person. First of all, my special thanks to President Foxy for being here physically present, as Dr. Malti mentioned. Madam is a source of great inspiration. When I convened this meeting, Madam just said, whatever happens, whoever comes, I will be there. So just for that one word, I thought I must do this meeting with grand success. We, in fact, started planning for this meeting just 3 days ago. So it's very, very difficult to get Madam's dates. And so we have finally materialized this. Thank you so much, Madam, for being here. And of course, thank you so much for all my advisors, senior people, Dr. Jayamkan and Madam, who is a past Vice President, Foxy, Dr. Ramani Devi, Madam, past Vice President, Foxy, and everybody for being present here physically for this meeting. It's indeed an honor and pleasure for me to read out the read out the Secretary's report for the Triogs Society. I'm proud to say that this is such a vibrant society, so much happening. Every member is a gem, and we've had really greater gems who have as predecessors for our society. So I'm just presenting some highlights of the academic programs. We had 5 international webinars, we had 17 national webinars, we had 3 statewide regional webinars, and 5 local webinars during this tenure. And we had lots and lots of CSR activities, almost 27 is a number. We had a lot of COVID related activities like donation to government hospitals, donation of masks to breastfeeding mothers, etc. We formed the Rush team way back in February under the guidance of Dr. Jayamkandan. We did Mother's Day activities, World Environment Day activities, World Organ Day, Organ Donation Day activities, World Yoga Day, Breastfeeding Week, World Adolescent Day, month of PCOS and cancer, breast cancer awareness, World Menopause Day, violence against women and girls, month of preterm labor, cancer, cervical cancer awareness, anemia-free pregnancy competitions, World AIDS Day, say no to mixopathy. I can just go on and on. March 8th, we had the International Women's Day where we did the pap smear screening camp for the month of endometriosis, Environment Day activities again, World Population Day. To top it all, we had this project Thai Nalam to reduce the maternal mortality rate in association with Safe Motherhood Committee, FOXY. And we rolled out President Madam's Naipunya project, Naipunya Skill for All on January 20th, 2022. And here we stand today on 4th of February, the last meeting of my tenure, the launch of Dira, Madam's pet project, which I thought I should finish before, at least the launch I should finish before stepping down. So I'm proud to present here that Triogs was declared prize winners by FOXY 4 times during my tenure for the World Environment Day 2020, for the World Environment Day 2021, World Breastfeeding Week 2021, and above all, we won the President's Rotating Trophy for the Best Society 2021 and Category B. I am so honored, privileged, and happy that our dear President, Madam Shanta Kumari, Madam, and the past presidents have actually acknowledged our work and given this honor for us. Thank you so much, Madam. So this was the team that took over, and then I'm seeing this team only today after that. That's a sad thing. So we were clueless about how to go about the entire meetings in the month of April after the lockdown started. And then it was a learning process for me when I started doing online programs, but then we took off very well. Our first program was in May under the guidance of Dr. Jayam Kannan. We had a program on medical legal aspects of MTP with Dr. MC Patel and his team, and we had a whopping 767 delegates log in for even our first program. It was a super hit. And the next program was even better hit in June when Shanta Madam came in as chief guest, Dr. Niranjan Chavan. We had a program with him on all about COVID. And we had Dr. Aruna Suman, who's currently the joint secretary, and Dr. Arul Murray as panelists. We had 1,000 for this program, we had 1,500 plus delegates online. So I kind of got the courage and the confidence to proceed online. And then since then, we have done many programs. I'm just going to enumerate for World Environment Day. We did some social programs. We did webinars. We had live on Facebook. And then we had a tree plantation program in association with Rotary. We planted 100 trees on the banks of 1,000-year-old Uyakondan. Despite the pandemic, we were joined by District 3000 Rotary Governor, Dr. Zamir Pasha, and the First Lady, Dr. Shakila Zamir, our Vice President, Madam Dr. Ramani Devi, and some of our members. And we finally planted 3,401 plantations, which was a big number for a Group B society. Sincere thanks to all our members who participated in this event. And we also wrote some articles on environmental pollution in Rotary. And there were so many people who contributed to FOXY's activities like posters, slogans, and this thing. And finally, we were declared winners. We got the first prize for World Environment Day activities in 2020. So moving on, we had some encouragement. So we did a yoga program for World Yoga Day, International Yoga Day, and our members actually at home they all had the opportunity to practically learn some yoga for mental calming, because we were all stressed out because of COVID that time. So it was a really nice program that happened. For the World Organ Donation Day, we had none other than Chief Guest Dr. Amalor Pavanathan, who actually coined the Green Corridor for Tamil Nadu. So he was an eminent person who spoke on brain death and its implications, and we all took pledge that we will donate our organs. Thank you to all our members for taking pledge. Many of us actually took pledge, and we have the certificates also now. Again, our members contributed further to FOXY's activities with slogans and this thing. We moved on to the next program, that was international webinar. For the first time, COVID allowed us to connect internationally and go international I should say thanks to COVID, because otherwise it's very difficult to get most eminent people. We had Dr. Osama Shoki logging in from Egypt, Dr. Jyotsna Pandar logging in from London, Dr. Rishikesh Pai logging in from Mumbai. And this was again super hit program. We had 1,450 plus 621 logins. It was a very, very well appreciated program. So and then we moved on and on. For the month of August, we had a program on recurrent pregnancy loss, and then we celebrated breastfeeding week. This is about 2020. We donated 1,000 masks to breastfeeding COVID mothers, and one box of 50 hand sanitizers and boxes of gloves to the COVID positive mothers at GH. Thanks, Dr. Tamil Sylvia, our vice president, who represented us and went to GH to hand over all this. And we also honored Dr. Uma Mohanraj, who was a HOD then, and now also of Department of OB-GYN in Government Medical College, Trichy. They had been doing exemplary work in the times of COVID. And I was a faculty at Foxy's eConclave Breastfeeding Week with over 52,000 logins. And then we had a special program with Mrs. Rekha Sudarshan, a childbirth attendant and lactation consultant from Chennai, on the sensitive topic of breastfeeding in COVID mothers. And again, all our members contributed to Foxy's slogan and poster contest. And for the World Adolescent Day, we had another wonderful program. This was again a national program. The chief guest was Dr. Alpesh Gandhi, Dr. Agni Agarwal, VP Foxy in charge, Dr. Ramani Devi, VP Foxy in charge, and Dr. Girish Mane, who was the chairperson Adolescent Committee. We had Miss Anukriti Vas, she was a celebrity guest speaker. We wanted to have somebody who is inspiring. We invited her not because she's just a Miss India, but she's brought up by a single parent, and she is coming from a tier 2 city like Trichy. She has made it to the top. So we wanted our adolescents to have some inspiration from her. So I had invited her, and she gave a beautiful talk, and we had very nice topics on adolescent sexuality and contraception, violence against women, and POXO Act. We had mobile and internet addiction. We had life skills for youth, and we had cybercrime, cyber stalking, and cybercrime against women, what the public needs to know, by cyber expert, national cyber expert, Mr. Karthikeyan. We had Dr. Rosa Oliai, Madam, Dr. MC Patel, Dr. Om Sai, adolescent psychiatrist, Dr. Harish Pembe, adolescent pediatrician, and Mr. Karthikeyan, national cybersecurity expert for this program. And this program was watched by over 3,000 plus on YouTube Live, as well as we had a lot of logins. So this was another super hit program that we did. And moving on to academic events, this was in the month of September. We had a very good program. Dr. Shailesh Putangbekar gave us an overview about uterine transplant, and Dr. Harish, Dr. Hafiz Rahman actually conducted a panel on uterine anomalies. It was very, very well attended. 363 logins we had. And then in the month of September, we had a program on PCOS and oncology by eminent speakers. Again, we had a very good attendance, and we did a lot of public awareness programs. So breast cancer awareness and menopausal issues. Myself and Dr. Ramani Madam addressed Dr. Bhagyalakshmi Nayak, who was the chairperson of oncology committee, joined us. This was a webinar as well as a public awareness program for all women's ladies clubs that we did. And again, many of our wonderful members contributed to the slogans. And in the month of on 29th October, we had violence against women and girls. Again, our chief guest, Dr. Shanta Kumari Madam, logged in for this. Our guest of honor was the Commissioner of Police, and Deputy Commissioner, Mr. Pavan Kumar Reddy, gave wonderful insights on how to guard against violence against women, including reporting and filing FAR, etc. We already had Mrs. Mani Meglai, who is also joining us today, talk about prevalence of domestic violence in Trichy district. So this was a very good program, very well attended, and these are the webinar pictures. Moving on, we had a CME on critical care and obstetrics in November. We had one on preterm labor. We celebrated the World AIDS Day in association with SATI, an NGO, and NACO. And Dr. Anju Soni, who was a chairperson of HIV AIDS Committee, was the chief guest, and we had talks on reducing mother-to-child transmission. On December 5th, we had our first AGM. Due to lack of quorum, we had to postpone it by 1 week, and then the resolutions passed. And because everybody was down with very depressed and down with not meeting each other, we had a live Antakshari on Zoom following our AGM, which was very well appreciated. Dr. Lavanya and myself coordinated this. It was a refresher for all of us sitting at home. Our annual CME, December 2020, 11th December, was attended, was very well attended by 538 delegates. Dr. Rameshwari Nalaswamy oration was given by President Foxy, Dr. Alpesh Gandhi, and keynote address was given by Dr. Rishma Pai. We had very good topics on abnormal uterine bleeding by Dr. Jaydeep Tank, and gestosis and hypertensive disorders in pregnancy was handled by Dr. Suchitra Pandit, Dr. Preeti Kumar, and her team. So these are the pictures. And we had a focus on contraception in the month of December. In January, we joined hands with Indoor Society to talk about all about tubular vision, that is tubes, fallopian tubes, all disorders about fallopian tubes. We had 266 logins for that. And in February, we had another super hit program that was on infertility. The chief guest was Dr. Rishikesh Pai, President-elect Foxy, and we had wonderful speakers, Dr. Noza Sharir, Dr. Sunita Tandulwalkar, Dr. Kundan Ingale, who's a chairperson of Infertility Committee, and Dr. Krishna Kumar, and many more. And this was attended by 450 delegates. We also had another program in association with Urogynecology chapter of Trichy, and the Global Interstitial Cystitis Bladder Pain Society. We had none other than Dr. J.B. Sharma, who's a chairperson of Urogynec Committee of Foxy, as the chief guest. Dr. Sanjay Gupte did a panel, wonderful panel on this, and we had Dr. Meera Raghavan, Dr. Ramani Devi as and many more as wonderful faculty. And then in the month of February, we also had extended our support to say no to mixopathy movement of IMA. Our Vice President, Dr. Tamil Selvi, is also the Secretary of IMA. And so we all gathered at the IMA hall to show our solidarity. And moving on, we had for the International Women's Day, we had a pap smear camp and awareness drive done by, I think we were in a WhatsApp group that where we posted all our activities. I'm proud to say we had 40 centers actually participated. Because of COVID, we all did our work in our own nursing homes. We didn't have any gathering. So 40 centers actually participated, and we had the highest number of patients screened, that was 731, despite not involving the government hospitals. So these are the members who actually participated. I'm so thankful to all of them. It goes on. So I'm so thankful to all of them for their participation. We had a lot of posters in our hospitals, and we did awareness camps. And we also presented Foxy's advocacy statement on HPV vaccine to the district collector, to the DDHs, and the joint DDHs. This was also very widely covered on the press. We also did programs on All India Radio. Myself and Dr. Umavel Murugan, we had updates on HPV vaccine, and then we did social awareness programs. Dr. Jayashree Ramesh had a program with the corporates, and we also did a lot of paramedical and nurses training program. We did some YouTube programs on awareness. We did something on Instagram. So we didn't leave any leaf unturned. So we had a lot of posters. We contributed to Foxy. And in the month of March, our member, Dr. Vijay Prabhacharian, she actually won the second prize in the slogan competition of Endosite 2021 conducted by Endometriosis Society, Foxy. Congratulations to Dr. Vijay Prabha. She is very, very creative person. She's taking over as treasurer next. And in the month of March, again, we had a program with Foxy Endocrinology Committee on AUB, known and beyond. In the month of April, we had a webinar on along with TNFOG and ICANCL. This was again a wonderful program covering the medical legal management of child sexual abuse. It was an online workshop. It was a very wonderful program, and we had a lot of more than 150 delegates for that. And in the month of April, we had a local program with Dr. Ashok Kumar, endoscopic surgeon from Chennai, as a speaker. In the month of May, we were hit by the second wave. All of us were down and clueless, didn't know what to do. So we had a wonderful program on all about COVID in a nutshell. We had a whopping 1,741 delegates for this program from all over India and abroad. And we covered topics like that is a very big number for a single society and a single person. So we covered all topics like COVID vaccination, COVID in pregnancy, COVID testing, COVID in the newborn, and COVID in special situations. Again, rewind June 2021, Foxy announced World Environment Day CSR activity. 2020 weds 2021. We had to give evidence of what we had done last year. How many plants were actually? It's not important just to plant them. It is important to see that they grow and they bloom. So the continuing efforts were evident. We checked out all the places where we planted, and we had planted 3,401 trees, and all of them were growing fantastically. These were the members who contributed to this activity. Again, we won the World Environment Day second prize by Foxy, and we won a cash award of 5,000 rupees, which was transferred to our society by Foxy. So some of the beautiful pictures that were participating in the from people who participated in the picture contest. Sadly, on 20th June 2021, our president, beloved Dr. Vidya Ravi, she succumbed to COVID, and we lost her. So we had an emergency executive committee meeting, and Dr. Malti Prasad, who was then vice president, was logged in unanimously as the president in charge. She'll be taking over as president from this tenure. And we also had a condolence meeting with all over India, where Dr. Alpesh Gandhi logged in, and many people came online and extended their condolence messages. We are so grateful to Foxians for doing this. And in the month of June, we again had a local program on hyperplatinemia and bacterial vaginosis. In the month of July, we had a program along with Perinatology Society on the theme fetus as a patient, which was also very well received. And for the World Population Day, we did a program on contraceptive updates along with Dr. Shobha Gudi, who is chairperson Family Welfare Committee. We had skits and video competitions by Foxy, and Dr. Ramani Devi, who was the vice president, was the judge. And following that, we had our president had rolled out the World Breastfeeding Week celebrations from 1st to 7th August 2021. And Madam had advocated awareness campaigns, competitions, radio shows, and everything. And we did, I'm proud to say, we did all of this and more. So the theme was Protect Breastfeeding, a Shared Responsibility. We actually kickstarted the MCure's webinar series for 1 week. On the first day, they approached us because we were doing very good programs. We had a whopping 590 delegates who logged in. Madam Dr. Shanta Kumari logged in virtually despite transference on that day. Madam would have otherwise come physically. So we had a wonderful program. And then we had a joint promotion activity of breastfeeding with 9 organizations, the Trichy OG Society, Neonatology Forum of Trichy, Indian Academy of Pediatrics, IMA, KAPB Medical College and Hospital, Trichy, ICDS Trichy, Rotary Club of Trichirappalli Metro, ACOM Foundation, which is an NGO, and Inner Wheel Club of Metro. So we joined hands with 9 different organizations for a full 1 week full-fledged celebrations. This was the inauguration at ICDS. This was a program we had with the collector at district collectorate. We rolled out a 10-point advocacy statement to promote breastfeeding, which was handed over to district collector on 2nd August. And this was the 10-point advocacy statement. We had it in Tamil as well as English, which was handed over to the district collector. And we all took oath that we will promote breastfeeding. We distributed pamphlets to the public. We had a joint action committee for breastfeeding protection. And this were the, sorry. So we had a wide press coverage, both on TV, radio, as well as on newspapers. And for this, we had training programs for nurses. We had training programs for patients. We had training programs. We had orientation programs for would-be mothers done by our members, would-be mothers and postnatal mothers. And everybody took oath. We Triogs advocated oath taking to promote breastfeeding by all members of Triogs, all doctors, all nurses, and healthcare workers, and all antenatal and postnatal mothers, public, and even college students. So this was the oath given for doctors and to the public, and these are all our members, all our staffs, all the patients, pregnant patients taking oath, and several activities. And in colleges, so we had a 1 week long activity in colleges, and we and our members also aired the same on All India Radio and Suryan FM, and the list goes on and on. Consolidated. I'm so thankful to the activities done by all our members. I acknowledge them full fledged, and we were declared again winners by the Foxy. We received among 250 entries across India. We again was awarded by President Dr. Shanta Kumari Madam. Thank you so much, Madam, for acknowledging all our work. So we are due to collect this prize in the AICOG indoor. And then we rolled out the project called Tayanalam, which was spearheaded by our dear, respected Dr. Jayam Kannan Madam, past Vice President. Madam came up with this project in association with Safe Motherhood Committee. Madam took the statistics of maternal mortality in Tamil Nadu and found that in 2021, it rose so big. The number was doubled or even tripled. So Madam felt that we should do something, the Triogs Society should do something. And so we launched this project called Tayanalam in association with Safe Motherhood Committee and Jipaigo. The purpose of the project was to train all the clinicians and the paramedical workers to reduce maternal mortality. We had an orientation program where we deliberated how to go about the program. Dr. Preeti Kumar, Chairperson, Safe Motherhood Committee, and members of Jipaigo, our senior advisors, Dr. Jayam Kannan, Dr. Ramani Devi, and many of our members deliberated, and we rolled out the program. We had the launch on 5th October, which was joined by Dr. Shanta Kumari Madam, Dr. Hema Divakar Madam, past President Foxy, Dr. Kavita Bapat Madam, Vice President Foxy, who was in charge of this activity, and Dr. Madhuri Patel, who is a Foxy Secretary General, and of course our members, Dr. Jayam Kannan, Dr. Ramani Devi, and all of us. So my due acknowledgements to Safe Motherhood Committee Foxy, Team Foxy, Dr. Shanta Kumari, Dr. Madhuri Patel, Dr. Kavita Bapat, and people from Safe Motherhood Committee, Dr. Preeti Kumar, Dr. Bhavna Khera, Dr. Sonia Mandapa, Dr. Nivedita, Dr. Vidya Chaudhary, and many, many more who worked for this. And my acknowledgements to people from Jipaigo, Dr. Bulbul Sood, and Dr. Dinesh Singh, who provided the Zoom platforms for us. And Foxy also provided platforms for us. We are so thankful to entire team who worked for this. We had 25 facilities who enrolled for this event. And these were the facilities who enrolled for this event. And we had a pre-test assessment and declaration by facilities. We had 5 modules for training the healthcare workers. We had 5 modules for training clinicians on various topics like preeclampsia, high-risk pregnancy, postpartum hemorrhage, etc., etc. The modules were so good, so informative. Thanks to Dr. Jayam Kannan and Dr. Preeti Kumar. And finally, we had a post-assessment, and this was a noble effort of Dr. Preeti Kumar. I have to acknowledge this. Madam is day in and day out, she was sitting with this project, and she took so much pains to send us NASG kits, gestation age calculators, PPH posters, etc. They were all couriered to us, and we gave all the members in person. So we had 25 facilities who participated, 25 doctors, and we trained almost 98 healthcare workers. It was a huge success. And the interim results, we found that there was a significant reduction in the maternal mortality in the ensuing months of September, October, November, and December. And there was no maternal mortality observed in the month of October. So our targets are going at least closer to what we are expecting. And on September 11 and 12, we had our annual CME, which was an international virtual conference. We had a CME with 55 plus faculties from all organizations like AOFOG, SAFOG, past FIGO, Foxy, ICOG, and IAGE. And we had a whopping 1,034 delegates for this conference. We had a 2-day program. Again, Dr. Shanta Kumari Madam was a chief guest, and she delivered Dr. Ponnamal oration. We had keynote addresses from 3 very, very eminent people. Sir Sabaratnam Arul Kumaran, past President FIGO, Professor Sirish Sheth, past President FIGO, Dr. Uday Tanavala, Chairperson ICOG, and Dr. Rishikesh, and many, many people, eminent people joined us for this program. In the month of October, again, breast cancer awareness, and when the World Menopause Day, we had another program which was a super hit. Again, we had 560 logins on breast diseases and menopause. This was the chief guest was Dr. Ambuja Choranur, President IMS, and Dr. Sneha Biyar, who was the chairperson for Breast Committee, FOXY. And in the month of November, we had a scientific meet on preterm labor, where and we had a discussion where Dr. Charmla gave a talk, and Dr. Jayam Kannan initiated a lot of discussion. It was a very useful meeting. And in the month of 25th November, we had our next AGM. For the first time in the last 5 years, we managed to have a full quorum of 87 attendees, and all the resolutions were passed in one go. This was a big achievement. So thanks to everybody who made this happen. To all our members, and our office bearers for 2022 and 2024 were elected in this forum, and here we stand on the installation of these office bearers today. So and in the month of December 6th, we had our another national program where the guest of honor was Dr. Rishikesh Pai, ART Basics and Beyond, again a super hit program. Dr. Nandita Palshetkar, Dr. Sonal Panchal, Dr. Sonia Malik, Dr. Kanti Bansal, Dr. Kundan Ingale, Dr. Jayam Kannan Madam, and Dr. Jaydeep Tank were the speakers. And even today, people are asking me for recordings, so I'm going to do all that now. So that was a wonderful program. Again, in the month of January, our program. We had a program on RH isoimmunization. Dr. J. Prabha gave the talk, and Dr. Malti Prasad and Dr. Sudha Ramakrishnan presented interesting cases. We rolled out President Foxy's Naipunya Skill for All program on 20th January 2022. We had 200 plus attendees for this. We involved both clinicians and healthcare workers everywhere, and it was a super hit success. And what we plan to do is we have a YouTube recording of this program. We'll send it to everybody, and we're going to send the modules to all the members so that you can train your staff nurses in your own setup. You can have these modules. So Triogs members, I'm proud to say in my tenure, more than 60 members have participated in various academic events inside Trichy and outside, and the list goes on. We wanted to encourage more and more new members coming up. And despite COVID, I'm proud to say I raised something like 6 lakh for our society, which was very tough job for me, just on the webinar platform. So that was something like, I was so desperate. Last year, we didn't have anything, ma'am. Last year, nothing happened. So this year we just took it forward. What I have done is I have created a YouTube channel for Triogs activities, and we have so many recordings of very, very good programs that I have announced. So we are uploading everything to YouTube, and we are going to circulate all the links to everybody so that they will be ready reckoners. Whenever you want, you can go back and look into those programs, even if you have missed them. Many of our members, I have to note, this is a noteworthy thing, that many of our members won special awards and achievements. I really congratulate all our scintillating members, Dr. Charmla Ayyavu, who's a ICOG Governing Council member, Dr. Ramani Devi, who's a past Vice President Foxy, Dr. Manjula. They all received awards from ICOG, and I received a Champion of Foxy Award from Dr. Alpesh Gandhi, and our IMA President, Dr. Kannammai, IMA Secretary, Dr. Tamil Selvi, and IMA Executive Committee member, Sudha Ramakrishnan, also received President Appreciation Awards. So I think heading this vibrant organization is not a simple task. My predecessors have set very, very high standards, and we have some scintillating members from our society. Dr. Jayam Kannan, who has taken the society internationally. She's won the president's. She's won the Distinguished Service Medal from RCOG, which nobody has done. And Dr. Ramani Devi, Madam, who has done exemplary work as chairperson endometriosis committee and as VP Foxy. I remember every day I used to interact with Ramani Devi, Madam. She will log into 3 or 4 programs. I really don't know how she'll remember, And this minute she'll be in another program, 10 minutes later she'll be in another program. Madam, I have to remind madam every time as guest of order, give me 5 minutes, madam. This is our society. Madam will never say no. She'll be there always for us. And of course, Dr. Charmla has done exemplary work. It's a mind-boggling CV that she sent me. She is going to contest. She was the past chairperson, Clinical Research Committee, FOXY, and now she's representing the South Zone as vice president as well. My heartfelt wishes to her, and best wishes to her for winning and for going ahead. Last but not the least, I just rolled out a Google form to know my performance, overall performance in the last 2 years. Only few people have actually filled it up. So 41% have mentioned it as outstanding and 32% as excellent. So that makes 72%. I'm so thankful to this vibrant society. I'm at an emotional loss of words today to step down as secretary. Thank you so much to Foxy for all the support, the chair committees for all the support, to our own senior members, Dr. Jayam Kannan, Dr. Ramani Devi, for all their support. And last but not the least, to all my beloved members, my past president, Dr. Vidya Ravi, who never said anything. Whatever I did, she encouraged. So she is someone I'm really missing today. So, and then the incoming president, Dr. Malti, who was always appreciative and encouraging for me. Not a day goes without talking to Malti. 10 p.m. is our time for discussion. So 10 to 11 is our discussion. Malti will doze off. I had to keep waking her up and saying, Malti, we have this program coming up. We have to do this. So it's an emotional goodbye to all of you. I'm going to continue my activities as executive. I'm going to continue as secretary, madam, as secretary. Thank you, ma'am. I'll continue my work as executive committee member, and maybe a few years later if I become a president. So thank you so much to this audience. Thank you. I'm sorry that was an exhaustive presentation, but I had no choice. So much.
That was
I'm always with Triogs. Triogs is a platform that gave me. I must say these 2 years has been enormous learning opportunities for me. My interaction with Foxy, I took so much inspiration from our President Foxy, Dr. Shanta Kumari Madam, who's a great, great leader. I've seen her, the way she conducts managing committee meetings and how she deals, amazing. It's been personally, it's been a very, very big learning experience for me in my life, and I will cherish these 2 years forever. Thank you so much.
That was a magnificent report by the outgoing secretary. Madam, you have shown us that success is no accident. It is hard work, perseverance, sacrifice, and most of all, the love of what you're doing.
Thank you, Mahalakshmi. I think if we can take just 2 or 3 minutes, if anybody would like to say something about my tenure, or it can be positive or negative, I'm open to criticisms as well, if time permits. Thank you. I'm Arul Murray. I'm very new to Triogs, but I just want to say that from the day I stepped into Trichy and got myself associated with the activities here, I've been hearing, getting messages and info about all these Triogs activities, and I have certainly logged into several of the programs, and I found them very interesting. And as a secretary of the society, you've done great.
Thank you, madam.
It would have been much better if you had been the normal circumstances. You would have been outstanding. In spite of the circumstances, you've done very well. And congratulations on all your awards. Really well deserved and well deserved appreciation for your work.
I think Deepa worked day and night. It was
Yeah,
not just day.
yeah, because it
She
was
used to work till 12
webinar
in the
platform.
midnight.
Yeah, she had to work.
At least a week before the webinar, she was working till midnight.
Yeah,
I've seen her
catching
working till
people
2
all over the world, different continents,
at different times.
international speakers. She got
She
really
needs
good.
a real big appreciation,
Yeah.
maybe a big treat. We'll give you a big treat after this.
Yeah, Deepa, actually, when you took over with Vidya, all of us were, like thinking how things are going to move around. And Faith was repeatedly handing over lemons to you, and thank you for making lemonades from them and serving it in such a wonderful platform. And we enjoyed the every activity that we did together. And I think almost all the members were involved also. That was one of the greatest credit that I want to give to you. So thank you very much for all your time. That's the greatest asset that you put into Triogs in your tenure and for your energy and efforts. You've done a wonderful work, exemplary work. Thank you for that.
Deepa, congratulations for your hard and sincere work. I appreciate your work. Even in the corona period, you have done a great job. My blessings and best of luck for you for your future career.
Thank you, madam. For want of Thank you, ma'am. For want of time, we'll proceed to the next part of our function. With this, it is time to install the new office bearers for the year 2022 to 24. I now call upon Dr. Chitra to present the presidential medal to the incoming president, Dr. Malti Prasad. Dr. Malti Prasad, consultant, IS Nursing Home and Trichy Fetal Medicine Center. She is a very dynamic and academically oriented person. She is an invited faculty, especially for fetal medicine at the national level and beyond. Whenever we reach her, she's always there, ready to help us in all our times. So we are really happy to have such a pleasant person, academically oriented, to take up as the next. Welcome Dr. Malti Prasad to the
Good afternoon once again, respected President Foxy, Dr. Shantamgani, Madam. Senior members of our society, Dr. Jayam Kannan, past Vice President Foxy, Dr. Ramni Devi, senior members of our society, past presidents, past secretaries, Dr. Preeti Kumar, Chairperson, Safe Motherhood Committee, Dr. Kiran Mai, Dr. Selvam, Vice Chancellor, Dr. Mani Meglai, my dear friends, junior and senior colleagues, and my dear friends. So, with the blessings of Almighty, I feel really humbled and privileged to take over as the president of this very vibrant and amazing society. And this has been made possible because of the love and affection. I was telling Dr. Ramni Madam yesterday, don't treat me like a president, treat me as one of you. So it's going to be it should be a fun fill at the same time an academic wing as usual. My regards and wishes to one and all. I stand before you with humility and sense of unison to work with all of you towards betterment of women's health. My journey in Triogs started in the year 1997 when even though I was born in Chennai, I was brought up in Hyderabad, did not know much of Tamil, came here with lot of Urdu dictions, Hindi. I didn't know Tamil at all. And the first day my husband introduced me to Dr. Ramni Devi and I went to her hospital for a hysteroscopy workshop. She did not have vacancies at that point. She said, okay, you take my seat and be a part of it. So that day, madam made me feel very, very comfortable in an entirely different new place down south, which I was not used to at all. So my first thanks to Dr. Ramni ma'am for making it very possible and comfortable for my journey towards Triogs. And every year, she used to inspire us to do papers, presentations, journal clubs, and that is how my journey in Triogs started. And I went on to become secretary in 2002. And later through the years, as after I finished my secretaryship, Dr. Jayam Kannan, madam taught me and inspired me, encouraged me to conduct conferences, especially in international conferences like Dakshin and Pure Foxy in Trichy. I must mention a few names here who are with me throughout this journey as a part of me. Dr. Rameshwari Nallaswamy, madam, was a president when I was a secretary. She was like a mother figure to me. I still remember the good days which I had with madam. Dr. Chitra, my dear friend, Dr. Sripriya Prakasham, Dr. Tamichalvi, Dr. Victoria, Dr. Charmila, Deepa, Kavita, Punita, all of them were through with me all through when conducting many academic programs. And special appreciations to Dr. Deepa for working very, very hard with a lot of dedication and passion. I would like to thank the office bearers of 2022, Dr. Chitra, Tamichalvi, Deepa, Uma Velmurugan, Punita, Sudha, Arulmori, and Dr. Abhirami, Lavanya, and Menmori. It has been a very real, formidable journey. I made many friends, met a lot of people, went to a lot of new places. And during the vice president in charge, we conduct a very important project called Thayanalam, which was done along with the chairperson, Safe Motherhood Committee, Dr. Preeti Kumar. Actually, when we started off the project, I was very, very apprehensive on how I'm going to run it for 5 to 6 months. And Dr. Preeti Kumar guided us throughout every day, every step. She guided us in such a way that we had made a lot of difference in reducing the maternal mortality all over South Tamil Nadu. So thanks to Dr. Jayam madam, who was the first person when I took over as president in charge, she told me there's a lot of maternal deaths occurring in Trichy. You must do something, and we went on to do this project. So thanks to her, and we're still using the NASD projects, and we have all the PPH posters all over the labor board in the section. And many people have called me personally to tell me that this has gone a long way because we train the clinicians, we train the nurses too. So they become more aware in managing high-risk pregnancies. Today, we will be launching the Dira for No Violence Against Women. Dr. Shantakumari madam is here. It's a pet project of our Foxy president. I promise to strive more towards betterment of women's health, conduct a lot of academic programs, which is always it has been in the bottom of the heart, social awareness program, and will be working hand in hand with Foxy to achieve our goals. I would like to now announce the office bearers of the year 2022 to 24. May I invite all of them onto the dais, please. Dr. Tamichalvi, Vice President 1. Dr. Victoria, Vice President 2. Dr. Lakshmi Prabha, who's going to be the Secretary. Dr. Uma Velmurugan is not here. She's going to be the, Dr. Vijay Prabha. Five executive committee members also. Dr. Vijay Prabha is not here. Dr. Abhirami. Dr. Sri Lakshmi, Dr. Priyanka, Dr. Akila, and youngsters who are wanting to get trained from now so that they can work bearers of our future. Can we have a picture, please?
Malti Madam and the team, Triogs team 2022, a great success in the upcoming tenure.
May I invite the office bearers of 2022 to have a picture. Dr. Lavanya. One more. Previous office bearers. You've already left. Okay. Fine. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming.
With this, we shall now move on to the felicitations. Setting an example is not the main means of influencing others. It is the only means of influencing and inspiring others. And in Triogs, we have a lot of legends inspiring the youngsters by setting an example to them. Here we now have Dr. Jaim Kannan with us, the past Vice President of Foxy, past President Triogs, who's held various posts not just in Central Foxy but also in FIGO. She's been an author of a number of scientific papers, and she has also inspired a lot of others to join her in her academic path. The most important feather on her cap is when she was awarded the Distinguished Service Medal by the RCOG. We now invite her to bless the gathering.
Respected senior Dr. Sushila Devi and my counterpart Dr. Rameshwari Nalasamy, because we both joined together in 1976 April at Trichy District Headquarters Hospital, which is now a medical college. And to all my dear juniors, starting from Ramani Devi down to the youngest one who has joined here. Thank you very much for felicitating me the last couple of meetings, couple of every installations, for thinking that I should come to that level, or probably you all should go more than me. Like Dr. Shanta Kumari. Shanta Kumari and myself used to be there in 2003, 4 and all, sitting in the managing committee side by side on that. Slowly, Shanta Kumari moved so much forward, and she started going to the, it's a, you imagine 10 rows, she started moving to the second row, and then to the first row, and now in the top. This is not by anything else except for the hard work coupled with her intelligence and determination. At the same time, I am seeing her walking with all her friends and even her fellow who has been with her, Mr. Tirupati. I know Tirupati from 2003-4, and he is the family of Dr. Shantakumar. That means you give respect to your manager. You respect to even a given non-medical person. If you do, all the youngsters here do like this, you all will become like Shanta Kumari. That's what I told her. 2008, 14 years ago, we had 21 hours managing committee meeting. Night 10 o'clock. She was arranging the ASUOG, which had about 8,000 people. But she still saw to it at the entrance of the managing committee, chat counter was arranged so that everything you can get from night 9 o'clock after the dinner up to 4:30 a.m. to which the managing committee went up. Along with that, next day was the installation day. And she is known for her hospitalities, which is very much required from every one of you. The second thing I would like to say, all of us are very happy to see Deepa has one work. But you call Shanta Kumari at 2 o'clock in the morning, not now, even earlier, she will respond. One of the secretaries from Trichy called me and asked me, Auntie, she used to call me only Auntie. She said, Auntie, people are little objecting that I am not taking the phone. I said, no, you should take the phone 24/7 once you become a president or secretary or treasurer for your society. This was what was very much required. And that is there with every member who has stepped up in the ladder of Foxy, especially Dr. Shantakumar. Last week, I sent a message to her at 11:30 in the night. Are you very sure you are coming? I had yes in the next 2 minutes. That shows your commitment to the work you have taken in the Foxy. That is how we are all becoming. So, Triogs, yes, Triogs has made a big mark in the map of Foxy. Am I right, Shanta? Yes, we have made a very big map in the box, and that is because it is not only one member like Jayam Kannan, one member like Ramani Devi. It is the entire group which has come up. Now, when Victoria came up, Shantakumari specially said hello to her because we do remember very well in Victoria's period how we have moved after up and down, front and back to all the societies with all our work. She has been a very excellent secretary, and I'm very sure in her period of presidency, we expect her to go up in the ladder. Trichy is the sixth airport to be most popular in India, and Trichy is the first engineering institution of National Institute of Technology. Trichy is the first one with the Bharatidas University with a very big women's studies, from which we are proud to have Dr. Manimeghale here, who remembers fondly with me all the work we have done for the menstrual hygiene consortium, for the youth development, for the women's studies, for all the meetings we had at Bharatidas University. I'm very happy to see you here, madam. All Foxy presidents have come to Tiruchirappalli, especially in the tenure, except Alpesh Gandhi, who came online because he can't do anything. So you can remember Jaideep Malhotra, Narendra Malhotra, Nandita Palshekar. Nandita is very close to Shantakumari. We did a meeting at night at Delhi. Next day morning, we got into the flight from Delhi to Chennai. She had a very heavy migraine and back pain. And Janaki Raman ENT was sitting in a seat next to her. I pulled him out and I sat there and I was massaging the back for her. And we came at 11:30 here. We were received by everybody, including Dr. Ramesh Nalusamy. She gave the lecture. And next flight at 4:30, I accompanied her. And by 8 o'clock at the night, she was going to Bombay to go to Pune next day morning. Like that, every president has loved our society and has come mainly because we give them a very good warmth and support. And I expect all the juniors also to do it. My friends, juniors, kindly know that you have come from the creamy layer of the society. See the NEET exam which is coming up. That NEET exam shows that you are the creamy layer not because of your caste, creed, or find or money or anything. It is because of your brain and your intelligence and your hard work. So please keep it up and start going up and start speaking about your achievements and start speaking out about your subject. Never shy your academy. When I start putting some cases, sometimes I don't get any reply. I think 1 month ago I have put a case and asked for replies. Okay, so be ready to go for the academics. We may be erring, we may be giving wrong ideas, but still from the wrong ideas only we get corrected. We always remember things which we have done wrong. We never remember all the deliveries, but the deaths, maternal deaths, we remember. That is why I didn't want all our people to have any painful situation. And Malati was there to shoulder the responsibility of the maternal death. October, no maternal death. November, no maternal death. December, we had 4 deaths, in which only 2 are due to preventable causes. So thank you very much for all your support, which has given to all of us. Grow more with your talents. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. May now we have Dr. Ramani Devi, past Vice President Foxy, the recipient of many awards, and she has been the author of various books and scientific papers, and the member of the master trainer of Veera, and she's the recipient of the Pride of Foxy Award to address the gathering. Over to you, madam.
Thank you, Mahalakshmi, for the kind introduction. Respected guests for today's evening, Madam Shantakumari, President Foxy, and Treasurer Figo, senior members of Trichy OBG Society, Madam Sushila Devi, Madam Rameshwari Nalusamy, Dr. Jayam Kannan, and all my colleagues, junior friends, senior friends, everybody. It is a pleasure for me to stand in front of you to felicitate the incoming team and congratulate the outgoing team. Let me say something about Dr. Shantakumari. My first acquaintance with her was only during Dakshan. That was the first time. See, I didn't know that she was the past president. See, what ignorant I was then that time. We had given her a talk in the hall 3, I believe, because hall 3. So, Dr. Shanta said that, see, for the vice president, that was the first advice she gave me. For vice president and for senior people are foxy, you have to better always accommodate them in the main hall. So we didn't know what to do. Huh? Scientific. See, I was there as a scientific committee chair. But see, that time only I felt my ignorance. But then I thought I should learn more and more about Foxy family and how to ascend in that, and the protocols especially. Here I should definitely acknowledge Madam Jayam Kannan for having me brought to this position. I literally remember that when I wanted to contest for endometriosis committee chair, the first chairperson was Dr. Kanti Pensal, who is a very close friend of mine today. See, not even a single week goes without talking with her. So then she was a bit reluctant to take me as a executive committee member. Then madam said that you take her, she will do the needful. Now I know that I have stayed up to her words. Now coming to our society, I don't know how many of you remember, we have completed 23 years. 2024, our society is going to have the Silver Jubilee celebration. The first meeting, see, initially we started Trichy OBG Society as a OG Club of Trichy. First meeting was held in my house. It was on July 21st. We had a handful of members, senior members. I don't know whether Madam Susila Devi Madam was there, Nirmala Farooq Madam was there. Then we decided Rameshwari Madam was there. Then the second meeting was conducted at the IS Nursing Home. Malti was there. After that, see, we started gathering slowly more and more people, and we started moving to the hotels. Then at the end of 1 year, we conducted an annual CME. Still, I remember it was Geeta Arjun who was awarded the oration. So that gave us an insight that why don't we bring our society up and incorporate as a Foxy family. Then came the Trichy OBGYN Society. So with Madam Nirmala Farooq, my professor as the first president and me as the first secretary, we started having the society. Then I think it is 23 years back, 99. So then after that, every year we had CMEs and we started conducting national conferences. We were Foxy and we had roughly around 40 to 50 people as founder members. Yeah, Deepa, Malati, Chitra, and Madam Senior, all senior madams were there. So with this, and when Dr. Jayam Kannan took over, and it was that Trichy OBG Society came into the limelight of Foxy, where we were given 5 awards. Then subsequently, many of us has climbed through the ladder of Foxy, and we reached the state. And I wish the youngsters like Deepa, others whoever is interested. I was interested in Victoria taking into part as a chairperson, Dr. Chitra, but I think at least few of you should become the executive committee members and chairpersons of Foxy. And the legacy from Trichy OBG Society's representation to Foxy should continue. And with this, I wish the incoming office bearers, I know it will be very tough after Deepa Mukundan's work, but I am very sure Dr. Lakshmi Prabha, with the help of all her EC members, who are all young and bubbly, will help her and make this Triogs a grand, this tenure of Triogs a grand success. Thanks for the opportunity given.
Thank you, Madam, for those encouraging words. And our next dignitary will be Dr. Preeti Kumar, who has joined us virtually. Dr. Preeti Kumar is the chairperson, Safe Motherhood Committee, Foxy. She has also received the Appreciation Award by the Health Minister for ensuring safe motherhood in UP year 2020. And she's the Society Liaison Officer, Foxy Figo PPH Project UP India. We welcome you, Madam.
Thank you so much, Gayatri. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, audible, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Audible, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. With warm gratitude to our President, Dr. Shanta Kumari ma'am, the seniors of Trichy OBGYN Society, Dr. JM ma'am, Dr. Ramni ma'am, Dr. Malti and Deepa, and all the office bearers of Triogs. It gives me immense pleasure and honor to be here. I'm witness to this installation ceremony right from the beginning. Amazing work done by Deepa. Deepa, I was really touched by your message, the deliberation that you did. But I must tell you, the journey of 1,000 miles always begins with a single step. So this is your single step, and you need to move ahead. And you have so many great leaders. I just wrote on a WhatsApp group that Malti and Deepa, you are truly blessed to have leaders like Dr. Jayam ma'am and Dr. Ramni ma'am. So take their guidance and move ahead. Lot to do for Foxy. You have to have a commitment for Foxy, and then you can move ahead. So that's a good sign that you wake up till 12. Just now, Dr. Jay ma'am said Dr. Shanta Kumari ma'am is so prompt in responding. So that's an identity of a true leader, and you should also adopt the same thing. So this is my message to you. And Malti, you had been a great vice president and a acting president of Triogs during the Thainalam project. It was wonderful working with the Triogs. 2-3 things I really want to mention about Triogs. Jem ma'am, you truly have the warmth. We now take Triogs as a family. The entire family of Safe Motherhood Committee now feels part of Triogs. You have great respect for the teachers, and you have great respect for your colleagues. This is my observation when we worked for 3-4 months during the Thainalam project. So thank you so much, Shanta madam and Madhuri madam, for allowing us to do this project in Trichy. Your guidance was really so helpful. We could make some difference to the society. Thank you so much. And I would like to appreciate and applaud all the 28 facilitators who joined, who were enrolled, the facilities who were enrolled, and 100 healthcare workers who were trained on the various clinical situations in the Safe Motherhood Committee. Thank you, Shanta madam. Once again, just 2 days back, we had a launching of one project in Nepal, and truly it was a great honor when the president of your organization speaks for you in front of 65 international faculties. So it is really a great inspiration for all of us. Thank you so much. And we wish the new team all the best. Please do much more for your society and also to the Foxy. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Preeti madam, for joining us virtually. It is our bound duty to felicitate our own member, Dr. Charmila Ayavu, yet another very dynamic member of our society, but she couldn't be with us because of her commitment in her hospital. With this, we proceed to the...
We are very fortunate to have the Thainalam project, a pilot project focusing in reducing the maternal mortality rate. We had many facilities in Trichy enrolled and benefited by this project, and that was indeed a great success. Dr. Shantakumari will now give the Thainalam certificate to Triogs Society to Dr. J.M. Kanan madam.
Jayam
The-
madam actually spearheaded the whole program, madam. So it's apt that you received the certificate from President Foxy on our behalf. Thank you so much.
That was the Triogs certificate received by Jayam Kannan Madam on behalf of Triogs. Now we have the individual certificates for the President and Secretary. I request Dr. Shantakumari to give away those two certificates also. To the President, Dr. Malti Prasad, and the Secretary, Dr. Deepa.
Actually, Dr. Preeti Kumar has sent all the certificates to all the 25 facilities, but they are on their way. So we just thought at least the society's certificates can be handed over when President Madam is here.
Thank you, Dr. Shantakumari. With this, we move on to the launch of the Dira program and request Dr. Deepa Mohanan to take over.
A lot has been talked about our President Foxy, Dr. Shantakumari Madam today. Of all the programs that she had rolled out, I think Dhira Say No to Violence Against Women is her most favorite and pet project. It is the journey that started a few years ago. Madam has taken it to the international scene. There were some programs even at FIGO where they all upheld Madam's initiative. And today we have the launch of this Dhira program. Dhira means courage. We are witnessing violence against women at all levels, at all periods. At least every woman in her lifetime is being abused some way or the other by the male counterparts. So it is a very, very pertinent program, the need of the hour. And I request Dr. Shanta Madam to launch this program for Triogs today. This is in association with Bharatidasan University. We have Dr. Mani Megalai, Director and Head of Women's Studies representing Bharatidasan University today. Madam has also contributed a lot to this program, and that's why we have invited her. I request Shanta Kumari Madam to declare open this Dhira Say No to Violence Against Women. So without wasting much time, thank you, Madam for inaugurating this. I think she will be the right person to give her chief guest address and talk about her pet project. Madam, please. Madam is no new person to Foxy and all of us. She's currently the president Foxy and treasurer Figo, and I think I have no words to talk about Madam. Madam will one day become Figo president. That's my wish and everybody's wish. Everybody's wish, and she's capable of going to that stage. Best wishes.
Thank you. Good afternoon, friends. I bring greetings from Foxy. It's indeed a very pleasant moment for me today to be here in Trichy at this program of the installation of the new team. So, really happy to be here with you all. My dear friends, seniors, Dr. Jayam Kannan, Madam, and Ramani Devi, my dear friend, Chitra, and the whole team of Trichy. Thank you for inviting me here to be with you all today. And let me tell you before I start, Trichy, my mother's mother is from Trichy area. So, yes, then she got married and moved to Warangal. So I'm really happy when I'm back in Trichy. And I have to congratulate the outgoing team, Dr. Vidya Ravi, unfortunately not there with us, with Malti, who had stepped into the shoes, and then Deepa, you have seen the vibrant Trichy Society Secretary, Dr. Uma, who was the treasurer. You have done a fantastic job. Now, Deepa was telling Madam your talk. I said, Deepa, you have spoken for 1.5 years. People won't have the energy to listen. I think the brain capacity is only half an hour to 40 minutes. It can't take more. So I think they've had enough. Let those memories be there. We'll do a short and sweet talk. So congratulations, new team president Malati, secretary Lakshmi Prabha, and treasurer Dr. Vijaya, and the whole team of executive body of Trichy OB-GYN Society. When Deepa and Malati called me about 2 months back to be here, I was very happy. I said, definitely. Ramani called and said, will you come? I said, of course I will come. And Malti was after me, I'm going to buy that. When should I do the ticket booking? Which flight, which day? I told Malti, relax. I and Nandita, we are two people who always do the tickets 2 days before. And sometimes once it happened that I was supposed to go to Mumbai and there was no tickets. Because every day, something new happens. And if you keep buying tickets earlier, I have changed tickets 3-4 times for one program. That's why I delayed. So I said, hold on. Then came the bang. We were supposed to meet in Indore, and unfortunately things went different, and then we had to postpone Indore. And then Malati, Deepa, and all, everyone felt okay, maybe this may not happen. Then 1 week back, we were doing the one online program. I said, when are we meeting in Trichy? Are we doing it? Deepa said, Madam, are we doing it? I said, yes, of course, the cases have reduced, and then we are all day in and day out going to the hospitals. Is there a worse place than that for us to be scared? I don't know. I find it very strange. And there's something I think now the situation is we have to learn to live with this, live a proper way. And we have been lucky this time because this phase has been quite gentle on us. So I'm sure things are going to move back to normal. And I'm sure that all of you will be able to join us in the near future in the physical conferences. We have the Indore in April 4th to 8th April. We're looking forward to have you all at Indore. Followed, of course, we'll come back to Salem for the South Zonal Conference with you on April end. So we're all going to meet in the near future physically. Thank you, Team Trichy, for doing a fantastic job. And you got real spirit, I should say. And Dr. Jayam, you are absolutely right. Yes, Victoria is very close to me because I've been in touch with Victoria for a long time. So she's been an old friend of mine from Trichy OB-GYN Society. And Madam, thank you for mentioning that I respond to messages. My chairpersons will not agree because I don't respond nowadays. Now, what is happening? That's not my mistake. We have got 150 to 200 WhatsApp. I'm lucky, I'm in less number of WhatsApp groups than other people. By the time, if the phone is in your hand and if you see the WhatsApp message and it enters your brain, you have seen it. Because half an hour, you will get 40-50 messages. So the actual important messages will get lost. So one small bit of advice I give to everyone: if you want to send message to anyone, if they don't answer your WhatsApp message or SMS, don't think they have not answered. They've become, just pick up the phone and call. If they don't pick up the call once, it doesn't matter. Call them again till they pick up. I think that is the way we should do it. So we never know. Sometimes we may have a bad case, sometimes bad mood, something odd. At that minute, we may not respond properly and all. It's not only with me, it's I think human nature. So I think that should not deter us in judging that person whom we have called or messaged, because so many situations. So that's it. So thank you for all the love and affection showered by Trichy OB-GYN Society. Ramani, thank you very much. And I really don't remember your anecdote. Yeah, I was the sitting vice president, probably in that South Zone conference which happened here. So that was my conference, which I never interfered because, okay, Kanyakumari. Okay. Then, so I think, I know. Yes, I remember. We had a nice time. It was a nice. Arul Kumaran sir also had come. I know. It was a lovely conference time we had that time. And definitely, yes, we really enjoyed being with you all here. This year, the theme has been Foxy for All, Always, and Dhira, Stop Violence Against Women. Dhira initiative is very close to my heart. Dhira, we launched actually when I became a member of FIGO working group on No to Violence Against Women in 2015. In 2016, I launched Dhira. That time when I became member of the FIGO committee, when CN sir was the president, the committee with Diana Galimbati was a chairperson, we really didn't know what exactly to do. So how to actually make our members realize that there is an issue with violence against women, which is affecting the health of the women, and we as OB-GYNs have a role to play. So then I thought, what is it that we can do? Then I am a third generation obstetrician at home. I used to see my mother, the patients used to come, the mother-in-law, the sometimes mother, they'll all come in batches. One team will come inside, will talk, then that team will go out, the other team will come, they will talk about this other team. The in-laws team will talk against the mother's team will talk against this thing, half an hour. Now I want to talk something or do something, my mother is busy. I used to get very irritated. You have seen, examined, you have written, why you are wasting time? I used to ask. That time I was in school. But then I realized that we obstetricians are the first point of contact between the patients for any issue. So they treat us with more confidence than they would actually have on a lawyer or a policeman or a politician. So that was the point which I realized. Then I thought, if a woman is having violence, she doesn't go to any of those three. She comes to her friendly OB-GYN. So we are the first point of contact, and we know violence has an effect on the women's health, and that has an effect on maternal health, and that also contributes to maternal morbidity and mortality. So friends, if we have to reduce maternal mortality and morbidity, if we have to reach the SDG 2030 goals, we have to address this violence against women. So that was a point where I decided we should initiate this, and we started this initiative, Dhira, No to Violence Against Women, in FIGO. And first I started off as an advocacy. We did public forums, we did bikeathons, we did walkathons. Then I realized, we need to involve the police, the National Commission of Women, Dr. Ramani, you are the one who actually introduced me to the National Commission Women Commissioner, Lalita Kumara Mangalam. It was in Trichy. And she came to Hyderabad to the launch of the program, and along with our Telangana State Commission and all. And friends, involving the public, involving the press, involving celebrities to get coverage, because the message has to reach to the public. Partnering with men. It is only we women are jumping no to violence against women. In fact, the terminology should change. It should be honestly violence by men or something. Not why we are only talking about women. So these are the aspects which are so very important, and we started this Dhira. And that time FIGO president and CEO, CN sir and Johan and all were there. They said, you have to do something globally. And that time FLASOC conference was happening in Cancun, Mexico. Diana was the chair, so they invited me, the Flasog Society. That's I'm very close with the Flasog societies also, which are the Latin American societies. And then I realized there that we Indian women are more empowered than many other women in most parts of the world. Now, all the Western worlds, be it US, Europe, UK, or whatever, we are more empowered women in India than in many other countries. Our sexual and reproductive rights are much more in our hands than in those countries. We in India had an MTP Act in 1970s, and law which has given the woman her choice of sexual and reproductive rights way back in 1970s. And to date, as a FIGO treasurer and being the global voice of women, friends, there are countries which still have not accepted abortion as a woman's right or legally. So that way, I think we are much more advanced than many other women. We are more lucky, of course. Be it looks very nicer always, the Western world and the more affluent society. But I think in India, the women are definitely empowered. At the same time, we have our issues because of poverty, because of illiteracy. There's so many reasons which are contributing to maternal morbidity and mortality. And the past few years, I really have to appreciate the government, be it the central government or the state governments. Especially, I admire your ex-chief minister, Jayalalitha madam. She was a woman. So when she was the chief minister, I remember maternal mortality had gone down very low in the state. And we have to appreciate the government for taking up those causes. And I really appreciate the government who is there now also, because now people have realized that we need to focus on women's health. Even now you're present, I think the chief minister has announced so many programs for the welfare of women. So I think that is the way forward. Even in my own state, Telangana, our chief minister also has initiated so many projects which are good for women's welfare. So all these will contribute to women's health. And once the woman is healthy, we know family and nation, old statement, but that holds so very true. Tamil Nadu was doing extremely well in reducing maternal mortality and morbidity. But unfortunately, last year, you all have realized that mortality has increased. You all didn't get worried. You all didn't say, oh, no, that is all wrong. We are okay. You never said that. I have to congratulate each and every member of your societies. You all accepted, yes, there is a problem, and you reacted immediately. You said, what is it that we can do to correct this problem, to reduce the mothers dying? So that shows the commitment of you all to your women, your commitment to bring down the maternal death. I think I have to congratulate all of you in person for this very, very bold step, and I have to really congratulate my own committee chairperson Preeti. That time when your Malati, Dr. Jayam, Dr. Ramani, and Deepa all contacted her and said, let's do something for our Malati called me and said, what is it we can do? I said, these are the programs which are there. The committee contact Preeti, she will do. And Preeti called back, and you all did this Thai Nalam project. See, that proactiveness, you never said no. We Tamil Nadu are very big. We have reduced mortality. Now nothing is happening. You realized that is what is so very important. I have to congratulate you all, because when the problem is small, it's easier to correct. The problem becomes bigger, it's more difficult to solve the problem. So catching it right at the bud stage, you nipped it at the bud, the bad. So that is something which I think Foxy and the women of the country will appreciate. Thank you very much for taking care of the women of our society.
Thank you.
Friends, then with Dhira, we actually took this Dhira to FIGO Congress at Rio. We did the public awareness Dhira March. Again, I did face a lot of resistance at that time also. They said, you can't do it. It is a political motivation. But then FIGO leadership put the foot down and said, this is our Congress. We are the global voice of women. If we don't talk about our women's problem, then who is going to talk? We insisted and we went ahead with the Dhira March I had made about 300, 500 t-shirts, caps and all. There were 6 big boxes. It was very difficult to carry them with us because we were traveling Brazil before going to Rio. So I couriered it to Brazil. But after reaching Brazil, those customs people seized it. They didn't never released it, and they asked for $10,000 for releasing those. Then I said, sorry, we can't. Neither could Figo pay that money, neither could I. Said it's okay. And then the team there, local, the organizing that MCI was there, they actually came forward and said we had some all the placards and some few of them, and they made those placards and all. Their city commissioner also was a woman police commissioner, and it was a hugely successful program. And where there I realized all the societies of Figo came forward. The RCOG, the Bangladesh, the Pakistan, then other Mexico, so many other European societies, Italy, so many societies came forward to take part in that. And that day I realized that this is a global problem. It's not only ours. And so from there, actually, the journey of Figo, the Dhira and everything started. And slowly now we have seen, unfortunately, in the COVID pandemic, it has become a silent pandemic. So I think now the onus is on all of us to see where we can correct it. And friends, when I was taking over as the president of Foxy, with Foxy for All Always and Dhira, Stop Violence Against Women, I initiated the Dhira online certification course in collaboration with the UNICEF India and one more project with the WHO India. I just thought if we are going to address this, we should catch them young. So that's how I said, let me do a small online certification program for the children, 9th to 12th class. So that in this 2-hour program, we'll talk about violence against women and how it affects the health. We were not doing adolescent education. We are not doing adolescent health or sex education. We are not doing anything else. We are only telling them what violence is and how it affects the health. And why I gave the online certification courses, we have to lure children with something which they will attend. Otherwise, why are they interested? So if they have a certificate from Foxy and UNICEF, it adds value. That's why I brought in the collaboration. And I'm so very happy that all the societies in the country have come forward to join hands with me. And we have had the master training programs, 500 master training programs, MTT are ready. And now more master training programs are on. Already 30 schools, the program is going full swing. We started in January because all the groundwork was being done the last 6 months. And 1,500 school students, and I think 300 or 600 of school teachers have been trained. So that no girl watching her mother or anybody suffering from violence should say or grow up thinking it's okay. It's okay to accept. And no boy, if he sees his father or any other man do violence against any woman, should not grow up thinking it is okay for me to do it. So that should be the essence. And I want them to grow up to a more gender neutral society. And I'm hoping that by the end of this program, the Ministry of Education and the government will make this a mandatory course for all our school kids and curriculum. So let's hope that Trichy, how many schools? Will you do 100 schools or more? I'm looking forward. All of you have good number of contacts. I know Chitra has contacts, Ramani has, Jayam has, Deepa, all of you have. Every obstetrician will have patients, some school teacher, headmaster, headmistress, somebody. See, they can't escape us, be it the prime minister. Only this time prime minister escaped. Okay, he didn't have the necessity to come to a obstetrician because he is. But every politician also has to, for the family sake, visit an obstetrician. So our opportunities are there where we get in contact with the leaders, we get in contact with the teachers, we get in contact with everyone possible. So use your influence as obstetricians and take forward this movement, and the women of our country will thank you all, I think, in a very big way. And I'm really looking forward that all of you will cooperate in taking forward this movement. And congratulations again, Deepa. I kept on hearing I'm stepping down. She's only one small society secretary. Still a long way to go, Deepa. So all the best, and please do take care of yourselves as well as your patients whom you're taking care of. And the difficult decision to postpone the AICOG was done. keeping in view the health of my own members. And I'm really looking forward to see all of you at Hyderabad again soon. And of course, before that in Indore. And today is the 4th of February, which is the World Cancer Day. We are having the online Foxy Cancer Awareness Day, which is going on now. This is not only focusing on our action plan on taking care of the health of the women, but taking care of our own health. Make sure that you are doing your examination, you are getting your mammograms done, you are getting your HPV testing done, you are getting your vaccination done. Unless you all, my obstetricians Foxy members, are healthy, how can you take care of the women of the country? Please take care of your health, take care of your colleagues' health. Automatically, I think all of us will be fine. Thank you very much. And thank you, all of you, for having me here. I really enjoyed coming to Trichy. And I have to specially put on record, I have to thank the whole team of Trichy, Ramani, Jayam Madam, Malti, Deepa. They all came to the airport, Charmila and all. I felt so embarrassed. In the night, they came to receive me. I'm really honored and grateful for all the love and affection. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. The memento will be now given to our chief guest for Dr. Ramani Devi and Dr. Deepa Mugundan.
Thank you all, because only our private
The project Dira. Dr. Deepa will now introduce the guest of honor who will join us virtually.
Big thank you to Dr. Shanta Kumari Madam. You are a great source of inspiration for every one of us, all the Foxians. I'm sure we assure all our support for DIRA program of yours, and we are with you in whatever you do, Madam. Thank you so much for honoring us by being present here and for launching the DIRA of Triogs. Thank you. I take pleasure in inviting our guest of honor for today, Dr. M. Selvam. He is the Vice Chancellor, Bharatidasan University, a very accomplished person. Bharatidasan University, as we all know, is one of the best universities in India, of very high rating. Dr. Selvam has 36 years of teaching experience. He has worked as professor and head in the Department of International Business and Commerce, Alagappa University. He has published several research articles in listed journals and presented papers in international and national conferences. He has also guided many research scholars. Dr. Selvam has expertise in assessment and accreditation of universities, and his contribution in the eternal quality assurance cell of Aragappa University and other universities, enabling them to secure high scores in NAAC ratings. Presently, he serves as the accreditation ambassador under the UGC's Parmarsh scheme. He has also served as Dean of Research, Dean of Students Affairs, and Dean of Management of Aragappa University. He has also functioned as member of Senate, Syndicate, and Finance Committees. I think the list goes on and on. We are absolutely and truly honored to have your presence here for the launch of DIRA as guest of honor. Over to you, sir. Please welcome Dr. M. Selvam.
Good evening. Hope I am audible.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Most respected Madam Dr. Santa Kumari, the President of Foxy, Madam Dr. Ramani Devi, Madam Dr. Professor Manimehale, the respected outgoing members of Triogs and the new team. Glad that both Foxy as well as Triogs have been doing a wonderful job. I have been listening, watching almost the entire program from the start because I wanted to know, get myself acquainted with the kind of contribution that this great body is doing. I am amazed that you are doing a really great job. I used to wonder, it could not be otherwise because you represent, as one of the speakers put, I think you are the brainiest, you are the most intelligent, I know, most dedicated as well, because your profession is like that. It requires 24/7 kind of work culture, and you have to be the creamiest of the creamy layer in terms of knowledge so that you can secure the seats. That means you should have had a great education right from beginning to the top. And furthermore, therefore, I deem it a privilege for me to be in the August gathering of the most achieving women professionals, one of the greatest professional stream of the entire world. I'm happy that you have chosen this day for installing the new team for the trials. And the day that is say no to violence against women. So when such kind of things we come across, we hear, we see in newspapers or other media, immediately we get a hurt feeling. Why should somebody hurt somebody? What is happening in this world? Is the world becoming less and less safe for women, the children? You know, our culture is such a wonderful culture, a beautiful one, putting women at the very top in terms of respect for them, divinity in them, because every being that is given birth to in this world has a mother. That being the case, why should this kind of thing should happen? So therefore, this deterioration is not stopping despite all our legal and educative and other interventionist programs against violence against women. It seems it takes different shades and dimensions. Now this, we all know that the online medium is also becoming another line through which perpetration of violence against women and children happen. And even the home is not now safe. Children, we come across such a, I mean, what should I say? We don't have words, dirty words to describe all those dirty things as well. Therefore, what has to be done, I think, we have traveled, we means, we don't mean everyone, you know that. The people who are indulging in this kind of thing, I think they should have a greater education. Perhaps they don't have any work to do. Then only they indulge in this kind of things. Therefore, we have to make a study on those people who indulge, perpetuate this kind of crime. I think Madam Manimehalai and Madam Ramani Devi and the entire team that is with the Foxy would also find some more time besides their pressure on their profession per se to make an in-depth study of all those things. But we can study, we will come with the findings. But how we are going to stop, how we are going to reduce the rate, I think here mere talk may not be sufficient. We have to think of certain really worthy measures by which we can bring down and ultimately erase from the face of earth this kind of wrong happenings. Unless and until this is achieved, perhaps every man has to feel very sorry about this kind of thing, because it's the better side of our society is getting exposed like this, and we cannot be silent spectators. We have to do, we have to think on what we have to do, how this could be done, what kind of organizational measures could be thought of, what legal measures we have to think of, all these things. I think we can together, by together I mean, or both men and women and all the professionals across all the genders should work on that and come with certain great measures. I think I commit today myself with my university team, especially Madam Manimehalai and her team, to work on certain kind of newer measures, maybe psychological, cultural, sociological, and many more, by which we can totally end, yes, I mean, end this kind of violences. I hope all the gods and almighties will be with us when we do this kind of great job, which the gods and almighties themselves would be very happy if we materialize this in this world. With these words, I appreciate all your efforts and all your presentations. It was happy to take note of the achievements that you have all made in your domain. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Respected sir, I think it is indeed our pleasure to thank you. In spite of the very short notice of 48 hours, you have made it possible to address us. And I can assure that with the help of the doctors, we can, with the support of the university, we can take Tira to greater heights and make all our women feel happy, and we can put an end to the violence against women.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, Dr. Selvam, sir, I would really like to thank you for being with us. And I'm sure if people in your caliber join hands with us at Foxy for the no to violence against women, we can take this message across to as many students or almost all the students in the country. And I'm sure we will reap those fruits in a few years' time. Nothing will happen overnight, but I'm sure the generation next at least will grow up to be more gender sensitive and gender neutral. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Now I request Dr. Ramani Devi and Dr. Malti Prasad to honor our guest of honor with a shawl and a memento, which will be received by Professor Mani Mehalai on his behalf. Thank you, Madam. Dr. Mani Mehalai.
So thank you for virtual honoring.
Thank you very much, sir. Despite your very, very busy schedule, so nice that you have logged in virtually. And thank you so much for the nice message that you have given. And above all, when Dr. Ramani Madam met Dr. Selvam, I think he assured of all his support for our Dira program. I think that's a very, very big step forward. Bharatidasan University has great people, great teams, and a lot of students. And so I think thank you so much for all the support you have given us. And thank you for being with us despite your busy schedule. Thank you, sir. I now invite our next guest for today, Professor Mani Mehalai. Madam is the director and head of Women's Studies, Department of Women's Studies, Bharatidasan University. Again, a very accomplished person. Madam is the founder, director, and head Department of Women's Studies, Bharatidasan University. She has served and is serving currently various capacities as Dean of Arts, Senate member, Chair, World-Class Curriculum Development of Social Sciences, Chair, ICC Research Committee, Coordinator, RUSA, Social Sciences, Bharatidasan Universities, and she has 31 years of teaching and research experience in economics and many women's studies, etc. She has introduced MA, MPhil, Diploma, PG Diploma, certificate courses, and PhD programs in Bharatidasan University. She has been instrumental. Sure, ma'am. Madam has many, many more accomplishments. I think very nice that you are here today, madam. I request madam to take the dais. Madam Dr. Shanta Kumari is logging in for another meeting, so she'll be back with us. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. It's almost we're coming to the end of the program, so I'm happy to be here again to jointly do some programs with Triogs. So the journey started for the first 15 years or so when Dr. Tamil Chelvi was the secretary, and then followed by Dr. Victoria, Dr. Chitra, Dr. Malati too, and Dr. Sharmila. So several other, either president or secretary. So we have been, and Dr. Ramani and Dr. Jaypanan also in other capacities. So I'm happy that today this DIRA has been initiated, and also the new office bearers get installed, and I am happy that I could be present to see the new team also. So the outset, I thank our Vice Chancellor for his faith instilled on Department of Women's Studies to taking it forward, whatever has been told here. Madam Santa Kumari, Madam Ramani, Dr. Malati, Dr. Deepa. I think only with Deepa we missed the journey in physical meeting, and that too could happen here. And whenever there was, I mean, it started, I said, some 15 years back. So a lot of programs, joint programs, collaborative programs on menstrual hygiene. That was one of the important areas we did together with UNICEF for about 10 years or so. And it is not only here in Trichy, but other parts of the state also. And we did have Youth Mela with Dr. Charmila and Dr. Jayamkandan bringing that project. And where we adopted that 100 schools, that is the MHMC, with the help of UNICEF, we did the Initiate Menstrual Hygiene Management Consortium. And I think Dr. Sharmila is not here. She was the vice president. And so almost many doctors from Triogs could be the members of MHMC too. So there are a number of other areas in which we collaborated, and with Ramani Madam, we took to different colleges the endometric awareness and the endometric society. And every now and then, even some in this pandemic also, I think with Dr. Ramani, a couple of programs in the 2-3 months. December 1st World AIDS Day, she came and she promised that she'll be able to support the transgender because we've invited a transgender person to come and talk to the students. And she was so happy that the students, around the 200 and odd students were there when the trans person, trans woman indeed, she entered. He was the postgraduate student from St. Joseph's College. But our students were so silent and they didn't make any remarks. Normally that used to happen, it seems. That's what Ria, her name was Ria, she told. So she was accommodated by her parents and therefore she is getting along. That is an important issue. And now we are also working on this issue of transgender. So whenever we talk about the gender, it's not just men, the binary division, the men and women, but the trans, the whole spectrum of gender, wherein you bring LGBTQA and government of Tamil Nadu also recognized and government of India also recognized. So whenever you talk, it's SDG we are talking about. SDG 5 talks about the gender equality. So by 2030, we have to ensure. But I'm afraid whether we are going to reach it or not. But at least the way in which Triogs and Foxy set priorities, and the safe motherhood, the Thailand, and also now we're talking about MMR. So these are the major concerns. And these societies are very much, thanks to Dr. Santakumari being the president of Foxy. I'm happy that she's also from Trichy. And I only wish that doctors from Trichy should again be occupying such a prestigious position. And definitely with the Department of Women's Studies, we can reach to reduce further, because MMR is one of the major concerns, and India registers the worst because in absolute terms and number, India is second largest country populated next only to China, and therefore MMR also in the absolute terms is quite high, in spite of the fact that you have been making so much efforts. And thanks to government of Tamil Nadu, which is a forerunner in introducing measures related to various maternal health related issues, MCH related. So this is one side of the coin. Some of the visible issues could be addressed with the intervention of the societies like Triogs, and with the leadership of the newly elected members. I'll be happy, and it's good that you have invited the very Vice Chancellor, and so he has been very supportive, and for all collaborative programs also, we will definitely do it. And the other side of the coin I was talking is about the kind of violence. That is why you have yourself chosen to Dira, saying no to violence. And we had on November 25th, every year you have this 25th November as the International Day for Elimination of Violence Against Women. And recently, because you have to have the 16 days of activism till December 10th, the Human Rights Day. So almost national level, 15 universities joined together with Bharathidasan University, and every day we get webinar bringing people of different cadres who have been working on violence against women. And therefore, there were many kind of strategies adopted, and Dr. Sathapari was mentioning about engaging men. Engaging men is one of the priorities that we have to look for, because it is not always that women's issues are being discussed only with women. So that is the day, the need of the hour. That is what you have titled itself. So it is the need of the hour that men and boys should be engaged together. So that is one of the strategies that we can adopt. And Dr. Ramani was talking about taking to schools. And we can very well do it, because we set an example already to take forward this mental hygiene management issues to school children. And we can definitely write to the university, from the university we can write to the CEO and DOs, and they will immediately accept, and they are really looking for such programs. And if the doctors come, they will definitely be happy. That when we ask that we will be coming and doing, the moment we say that the doctors are coming, they will definitely be happy. And that is what we did, several programs. And when we initiated this way back in 2005-6, people like Dr. Kamal Chelvi were there. We went to different schools in different villages, like Tripuraturai, Vivekananda School, some 700 and odd students. And we were talking in a very sunny ground. but they were very much receptive and sitting. A lot of gaps in understanding the very process, the physiological process, and many things. So the same can be, the same strategy could be adopted, or the model can be implemented, replicated in terms of taking forward this issue of tackling and combating violence against women. And just an episode, one or two, and I'll try to finish. I went there to conduct a study with the residents of the elderly home there in Audayar Koil near Arandangi. I did see some 10 to 15 girls, small, I mean, very adolescent girls present, and not only just present, but with a child also in their lap. I was wondering that, okay, these children are the visitors for this elderly. But when I just asked them back, they said that is an NGO which is running the program. They said, no, no, they are all the victims, rape victims. And they also got delivered the child. So it was called a Ujwala scheme. You must be knowing the different schemes are there. Ujwala is one scheme. So I was wondering why these kids, one, to your surprise and to my surprise also, it was a 7th standard girl, a girl who was doing 7th standard. She was raped, and it was none other than her own family member, Chittappa. And it was 8 months carrying. I'm afraid because you're all doctors, you must be knowing. 8 months, till 8 months, that was not reported at all. She wasn't, nobody noticed also. The teacher, the peers, the family members. So when it was at the stage of 8 months, they took to the doctor saying, because they never suspected, no, they took and found that she was already pregnant. And you know, you can't do anything. Therefore, she had to be here. And of course, all the other sorts of, the DNA test was done, the culprit was identified, and he put into the jail. But what is the use of it? Compensation was given, etc. But this 7th standard means 12-year-old girl lost her life. Of course, there are provisions with this government scheme saying that you can just give the child out for adoption, and if you want, you can get married off. They give that choice also, and there are guys who are coming to marry these kids also. But she was not giving any scope for that. So this is one case. So the second case was, again, she was 9th standard doing, and she was raped by the neighbor who was 73-year-old. It was not just. So what I want to convey is that it is not that youngsters who are really into these issues or people who are unknown are involved in this. The people who are known, who are quite aged, elderly, are really the culprits in certain cases, or at least most of the cases. So you can't say that the violence is happening only in the public place or only with the unknown people. No, there are evidences across the country, across the globe, through various research studies, that it is all the known people, it is all the very neighbors and the peers, and you know, the Polachi case or any other, and thanks to social media, which is really playing havoc to these kids. And these kids are also, girls also, the other day I was discussing Dr. Ramani also, like these kids also know when the given patriarchal society where the girls are still treated, the women are still treated as secondary citizens, they maybe exceptions, they just they don't get to the love and affection that they need at home front. And therefore, if any guy, whether it is a girl or a boy, irrespective, anybody who shows love, they simply go behind them and they do whatever. So the same logic applies to boys also. That is one thing. And today it is social media. You have porno coming, and people are really addict to that. That is also one of the addicts. And the this sexual harassment at workplaces defines 5 forms of the violence. Porno is one. So it is also like when we conducted a study here in Trichy slums, they said some adolescent boys and girls, we had separate meetings. They said they used to go, what we call that film, we call blue film, that they call Sami Padam. So they'll go and get Sami Padam, and they will choose a house where nobody is present, and they play. And the moment they get played, they will go aroused in their own feelings, and therefore they just, we'll just go, and wherever the girl is, we will catch hold of them, we will just have relationship and come. So this is a kind of vulnerability the girls face there. And over the period, it will get into relationship, develop into relationship. I'm sorry to say that we heard from their own mouth that in certain areas you have quacks. They do this abortions, and that is all very hidden, and they have an understanding. If you become conceived, then immediately report, and the guy may not be in relationship, continuing the relationship. It gets shifted. This is a shocking story which we heard. So this, I don't know, this is happening maybe with 5-10% of the population, but still it is an issue, and we are really concerned with. So violence, it starts right from your fetish side, where you don't want the girl baby and you go for sexual abortions. That is also amounting to violence. So the very right to be born, and then extends till your senior citizenship, where you desert your own parents, you don't take care of your parents, and if they are ill, they are very much suffer. So violence can be in any form, and the rape is the extreme form, and gang rape is the worst form, where in one of my PhD scholars is also working on that, the victims' rights, where it was for 20 years together, the judgment was not given, and the girl would have got raped there the very 7 years, 10 years, or 12 years, and she would have got married, and must be in the 25 years or 30 years, then the court will be calling. And sometimes they don't even reveal what is the judgment, and very often the judgment will be in favor of the very culprits, in fact, the gang rapes. So there are a number of such violences happening, and it is high time that we understand the society first. It is not any quantifiable measures, quantitative measures you can, it has to start from your mindset, attitude, your behavioral change, and started recognizing our own fellow beings as equals, like respect, and the respect should come from that. I'm not inferior to anybody, I'm not superior to anybody. This should come from both the male and female, and of course the other genders. So the moment you feel that girl is second to me, you start right from teasing. So it starts simply teasing, and thanks to media, that is one of the major concerns, where the people are, whether it is the TV medium or the silver screen, it is reinforcing the stereotype again and again, keeping always girls are the woman, the receiving end, the boys and the men will be dominant, and they will always be come to the rescue of saving the girls, and the girls will be crying for help. So why should you always portray like this? So portrayal of women as secondary citizen or always at the receiving end should be given up. And sports, of course, the girls are willing to come, and you know that recent Olympic, a lot of girls won the medals, and that should be encouraged, and state is there to help out, but that area is still many a time the girls give up and come because it is not safe in terms of their sexual safety. And it is the parents who should have the belief on their children, and they should not treat the children, boys and girls, unequal. It is the high time that all the whatever the spending you do it for boys to equally be spent on girls also, so that they will also be coming and occupying different positions, and you have to encourage equally more than spending and sending them. Now you are all finding the girls in the engineering, technical, and of course medicine is there, but all these because of their merit. It is not that you spend like you spend on your boys, but there is always a reservation, and you choose to you're making choice to send the girls to a very ordinary kind of education, arts and science and professional education device. So everything should change. So the mindset which is already deep rooted in this society should change first, wherein you should start recognizing. It's always like, as VC pointed out, we keep talking the men and women are equal, or every human being is equal, but unfortunately that's not happening, and that mindset should change. And also wherever we are, whichever capacity we are, being teachers, being doctors, we have our own responsibility to attack when there is any injustice happens. The domestic violence, even third party can go and complain. It is not that the members of the family alone should. So there are such, whether it is sexual harassment at workplaces also. The National Policy for Women says that more women should come to the public life and participate everywhere, whereas this sexual harassment workplace is really a barrier. And if you keep on getting reporting, because this is a day of reporting, then it really discourages the other women to join the force. And there are a number of other areas where the gender perception should change. There was an announcement by the government of Tamil Nadu that when women polices are given on the duty of bandobast, they should be voided for the reason that they don't have the facilities. But what should the government do? They have to provide the facility and make these women stay there. Even menstrual hygiene leave, I have my own differences, because when you keep on asking for some favors, it will affect the future employment of women, future participation in public life for women. And they will simply say that, oh, if you hire women, they will ask all these rights, and definitely it will affect the very contribution or the growing up of the company. So I think we have to be very careful wherever we are, whichever the area we are working, it has to be seen in a gender lens, whether it is from the lens of a men or women, because violence doesn't happen only to women, it does happen to boys. Thanks to POXCO, there are equally boys being affected or also getting reported, and therefore I don't say, or I don't subscribe to the view that it is only affecting the women. So given all these, it is time to collectively work, and there DIRA is going to travel, and definitely Women Studies Department, Bharathidasan University will be with Triogs for all sorts of programs to be taken forward, whether it is in the schools or colleges or the community, since we are already connected with different stakeholders and different sections of the population. So I once again thank for this opportunity, particularly for Dr. Ramani, for introducing this day, because it is also giving an opportunity to witness the installation ceremony, and also thanking for inviting our VC, because it will be easy now to collaborate for future programs. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam, for extending your support towards the DIRA program. I now request Dr. Tamil Chelvi and Dr. Victoria Johnson to honor Professor Mani Mehalai with a shawl and a memento.
Thank you very much, Professor Manimeglai, for those that enlightening few minutes of talk. I think it's very heartrending to hear such horror stories happening to women. I think every one of us as women and girls, we need to rise up to this, and we need to take this DIRA movement forward, involve more and more people, and take this to the nook and corners of the society. Thank you very much for being with us here, madam, despite your busy schedule. We now move on to the scientific session.
Thank you, Dr. Deepa. As far as the scientific session is concerned, we again have topics of the DIRA in the scientific session. We already had Dr. Shanta Kumari say a lot about DIRA and why it is the need of the hour. And now we will have the second topic where Dr. Kiranmani Devineni is going to address us about violence against women and girls, an overview. To introduce our eminent speaker, she is an associate professor, Osmania Medical College, Hyderabad. She is the coordinator of Foxy DIRA initiative to stop violence against women. She is the vice president and secretary of the OBG Society of Hyderabad, scientific convener of AICOG 2011 Hyderabad, and she's been the recipient of the MS Signature Award for Dr. Thomas Burke Surgery for Global Innovations and Human Rights. She's also the co-author of 2 books and published many research papers in peer-reviewed journals. Over to you, madam. She's here to join us virtually.
Thank you so much, Gayatri. Respected President Foxy, Shanta Madam, and all the seniors, elders of Trichy Society, Jayam ma'am, Dr. Ramani ma'am, then Dr. Malti Prasad, then Dr. Charmila, then Dr. Deepa, and all the members, respected members of the Trichy Society. When Dr. Ramani ma'am and Dr. Deepa asked me to physically join the event, it was very, very difficult for me to, kind of say that I'll not be able to do it, because Trichy has this effect of warmth on everyone. I visited Trichy twice, and one visit was with the Yuva Foxy along with Shanta Madam and the entire Hyderabad team. Such hospitality was shown by Ramani ma'am, Jay ma'am, and all the Trichy members. We had such wonderful time visiting the temples, and such a beautiful memories that my heart longed to be there with you all today. Unfortunately, or I could not come there. But again, it's my proud privilege and real happiness to be with you online and also talk about a topic which is now of national importance and a very, very priority issue for the entire Foxy. As Dr. And also I pay my respects to Dr. Selvam, the guest of honor, and Dr. Manimekalai Madam, who have spoken beautifully and with passion about this topic. As society, if all spheres of society, like we as medical people, and then from the universities and the students, and everyone comes together in no time, as Shanta Madam has said, that we'll be able to eradicate this menace. And Dr. Manimekalai was speaking about the 16 days of activism. It's been since almost 8 years that OGSH, ICOG, Foxy, and with Shanta Madam, the thing is, every small activity, once she's convinced, it becomes a national issue and then an international issue. We started with OGSH Hyderabad, Dhira, then with Madam at the helm, Madam tied up with ICOG, then Foxy, then FIGO. Then when she went to FLASOG, it becomes truly international. Facing all the odds, she made that walk on the roads in Rio. And then now as the walk committee chair of FIGO, and then now as treasurer FIGO, it's truly international. And such a massive campaign and such a vision that I consider myself, and we all consider ourselves very fortunate to be working with her and play a very small part. And 25th November is the International Day of Elimination of Violence Against Women, which is diligently observed every time at OGSH and Foxy also. And 2021 we had WHO, UNICEF, and then we had FIGO, we had Foxy, and everyone coming together, and all the heads of the organizations giving the advocacy messages, which was truly inspiring. So thank you all. Without further delay, I would start my presentation. I would at the outset have to say that it has been such a, are you able to see my screen? Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. Carry on.
Madam, have you started sharing or it is in the process, I think. It is just showing has started.
Yeah, I'm sharing. Am I audible?
You're audible, ma'am.
But the
Your
screen
video is a little stuck actually.
stuck.
Not
I
moving,
think
and it's
it's
slow.
loading.
I think
Yeah.
your internet connection is low.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. We are now seeing your screen. I think your internet connection is slow. Maybe you can switch off your video, ma'am. Please choose slideshow.
Yeah. I'm waiting. There is a, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Now we
but
can see your slides, but you make it slideshow, ma'am.
yeah. I think the internet problem. I think. Yeah. Is it okay?
Now it's fine, ma'am.
So I'm afraid that it has been such an auspicious and very pleasant evening with the new team taking over and Deepa giving her wonderful 2-year tenure report, which is achievement after achievement coming down in the pandemic times also. So, but what has to be told has to be told, and what has to be spoken, even if it is unpleasant, has to be spoken, because this is, we all know that this is a major problem, very unpleasant issue, and we have taken up on ourselves that we are going to deal with this somehow and we are going to face the reality. So thank you, Richie, for launching Dira in such a major event, and it was really a feast to eyes to see all the everything going on so beautifully. So by definition, yeah. Any behavior which causes physical, sexual, psychological, and reproductive coercion, forcing a woman to live in fear. This is a simple definition, and I oft repeated the quote, but I don't get tired of repeating this quote by Kofi Annan, which is, who said that violence against women is one of the most shameful human rights violation, and it is most pervasive. It knows no boundaries of geography, culture, or wealth. And as long as it continues, we cannot claim that we are making any real progress towards equality, development, and peace. So in these three statements, he has summarized exactly what violence is. And again, the types, categories to define domestic violence, it's not always physical. Sometimes we think only physical abuse is violence. No, but physical abuse is major chunk, but definitely there is sexual abuse, there is emotional abuse, there is verbal abuse, and there is social abuse with systematic isolation from the family, friends, and making the person lonely and affecting the mental health of the person, and economic abuse, spiritual abuse, and all these are definitely the types of abuses. And it's not that that women are affected after certain age, or after maybe menarche, or after they reach 18 years. It affects every age and stage of life. You can say from womb to tomb. So much so that the feticide, it starts in womb, the discrimination starts in womb. Then when you come to the child, it's a sexual abuse. Approximately 20% of women and 5 to 10% of men report being sexually abused as children. Then forced or early marriage, more than 60 million women aged 20 to 24 years were married before the age of 18 years. And then coming to the female genital mutilation, which is not really a serious issue with us, but in African countries, then child trafficking, trafficking of girls and women, honor killings, then coming to the sexual violence and the rape, of which Dr. Professor Manimekalai has addressed in such detail. Then the intimate partner violence, this is major part which we have identified and how we have come to know, because we see a lot of pregnant women coming with different problems, with the root cause being a violence in some or other aspect of her life by the intimate partner. So it is up to 30% that there is intimate partner violence. So as I have told, it is starts from pre-birth with sex selective abortion, infancy, then child, adolescence, and adulthood. So it is the life of the woman. Then coming to the global data, it's the latest, as recent as 2 years, experienced physical or sexual violence by their partner. Unfortunately, our area, the Southeast Asia, has a very high incidence of 37.7%. Then comes this in South Asia, you can see that there is difference from 16.3% to 54.2% of women in Bangladesh. That doesn't mean that Bangladeshi women or women in Bangladesh face a very high incidence of violence. It also means that they are screening and there are efficient and effective methods of identifying the violence, and maybe that is the reason why they are coming out with the report of or incidence of violence. In other areas, we can say it is just the tip of the iceberg and major chunk lies beneath. So this is the UN Women March 2011 prevalence data. You can see India has as high as 1 in 3 women, that is 35% of the women, face intimate partner violence. And coming to the NFHS 4 and 5 surveys, it is in a way good that NFHS, the national survey, has taken up taking data of violence for women from the 4 and 5 series. In NFHS 4 has reported that every third woman since the age of 15 has faced domestic violence in India, and here you can see a screenshot of some of the states which are reporting really high. Again, I'll say that reporting of high incidence doesn't mean that it is high. It also means that there are agencies, that there are people, that there are something which is going on, which is making the women come out without fear to report the violence. It also means that. So Tamil Nadu, AP, Karnataka, Telangana showing high figures may mean that there is increased reporting of the violence also. So, but it's a good thing that we have started taking data. That means the national, the governments and all will be focusing on this. And again, as I have told, it is underreported. It is underreported. So only 7% reported to a formal source, and 40% of women experiencing, though previously disclosed to someone, they don't come out to the official data. So again, this is a pathways and health effects, because we wanted to see not just, I mean, how all the women's health, holistic women's health is being affected. The physical trauma can lead to not just injury, it can lead to even homicide and murders and suicides. 42% of women who have experienced violence at the hands of the intimate partner have experienced some or other kind of injuries, including fractures. And then mental health, they are twice as much prone than the other women to have depression and other mental health issues. Then they are twice as likely to have an addiction to alcohol and other agents. And 38% of the murders of the women globally happening have violence by the intimate partner. I mean, if 100 murders are happening of women, 38 are due to the intimate partner violence. And 4.5 times they are likely to attempt suicides. So, and 16% more likely to have a low birth weight baby, and 1.5 times more likely to acquire HIV, and 1.5 times more likely to contract syphilis, that is STIs, and twice as likely to have an abortion. So you can see that it has a spectrum of effects, right from physical trauma to reproductive health to sexual health to mental health, and everything. The quality of life goes, if not the life itself. So this is again another algorithmic chart showing the effects on the health. And RCOG, the publication, one of its important publication on violence against women, has mentioned that the pregnancy was identified as one of the 6 risk factors for homicide in 56 murders that occurred in London between 2001 and 2010. So the homicides have violence as the basis. And the United Nations report, we see a lot of, if not overt physical and sexual violence, we do see post-pregnancy. The woman does not have a choice of choosing when to become pregnant or when to have an abortion, when to go for sterilization, or even the choice of having safe sex, the condom use, and everything comes under reproductive coercion, which is a form of violence. And in Indian data, we very well know that it exists to as much as up to 50%. Then coming to intersection of intimate partner violence and AIDS, why AIDS and HIV is more in intimate partner violence victims? There are 4 reasons. One is because the spouse himself is prone to unsafe sexual practices. He is also addicted to alcohol and other addictions. Then there is no safe sex practices. The negotiation of condom the woman cannot do. And also because of the multiple traumas and multiple partners and risk-taking behaviors, the existence of STIs will be there, which will increase the incidence of HIV, and also the unnatural sexual acts like oral sex and rectal sex, etc. So there is very high incidence of HIV and AIDS in the intimate partner violence victims. So I'll come to my journey a little bit, how I got involved with this, how I became concerned and worried and ultimately passionate about violence against women. I was invited for a Doctor's Day program to speak. There was a discussion forum going on the violence against women. I was really curious, and then I thought, let me take some data. So I just could collect only 20 case reports, which were medical legal cases, and which were just 20 out of 24,000 admissions. And out of this 20, 10 women were beaten up by their husband or in-laws. 2 cases had severe pervert sexual violence. 5 cases of burns. There then used to be a lot of burns cases with kerosene gas and all because of dowry. And we used to even have a one dowry burns ward in Osmania. That was really dark times. Not very long ago, maybe 10-20 years back. And one case of burns inflicted by husband at 9 months of gestation, leading to 40% of burns and the fetal death. and one woman suffered grievous injuries to eyes and face as husband bit her with hunter, and she was 18 weeks pregnant. These were the cases I could collect, and I was disturbed a lot. And then we went ahead and did scrutiny of the records of another year. Here we did the kind of prospective collection of the cases, so we could get 130. These were the overtly reported medical legal cases which have come through the police. So out of these 130 cases, 43 had intimate partner violence as a background, and 10 had grievous injuries, including fractures and all from violence during pregnancy. And there were 8 unmarried pregnancies again due to rape and violence, and 3 girls had attempted unsafe MTPs by force by their partners, and of these unmarried girls had continued their pregnancy, and they had severe preeclampsia and eclampsia and severe morbidity, and there were 25 rape and assault on children and adolescents as young as 4 to 16 years. Then, some light on the intersection between domestic violence and pregnancy. There is a strong association between domestic violence during pregnancy and selected maternal health behavior. A woman who is facing violence will not come for prenatal care. She would not take her tetanus toxoid prophylaxis. She would not come for her institutional deliveries. She would neglect her postnatal care. She will have nobody who will accompany her. So instead of being a protected time, pregnancy becomes a time of continuation of this domestic violence for many, many women. And then effects of IPV on pregnancy. When you see abortion, you may have to think of violence, then fetal injury, maternal injury, depression, as I have told, HIV, and then on the child also. The child can have low birth weight, the child can have sleep disturbances, the child can also have bedwetting, withdrawal, aggression, the psychological issues, the poor school performance, and also a child of a survivor of intimate partner violence can display anxiety and depression as late as a teenage. And then they themselves can become victims of child abuse. And unfortunately, some of the children become perpetrators because they think violence is a norm, violence is normal. So the disturbed psychological atmosphere at home will make them either survivors or victims or perpetrators. So then there was this paper which we did on 2013. This was a prospective observational study, a properly done study of around 330 women. You can see here, these were the types of physical violence which we saw in those 330 women: slapping, kicking, injuring with this knife or sharp object. There were fractures, and one woman was thrown from the first floor, head injury, forceful abortions, denying food. Mother-in-laws would deny food for the pregnant daughter-in-laws, and they would starve them till midnight, afternoon or late afternoon, and they would be always given stale food or not given food at all. They had to make food for everyone, but they would go without food. This is so painful. And reproductive coercion, sexual violence in pregnancy. They would demand sex even at 9 months, and if the woman had denied, I would show one painful, really disturbing picture and case report where there was sexual violence in pregnancy because she had denied intercourse. Then violence by in-laws, whips, using whips, burns, and one person had used even electric shock to punish the wife. So again, is there that violence? Then we observed whether there was really any difference in the serious maternal morbidity issues like preeclampsia, hemorrhagic shock, and anemia. We observed association between all, but statistically significant association was found with preeclampsia, eclampsia. Definitely it was more, and they presented with hemorrhagic shock due to abortion or abruption or APH or PPH, late presentation, and definitely anemia was very much there more than the other people. So I'll present a few cases just to, these were the cases which prompted the study, and I continued doing that. She was a woman, actually she came in labor, 2 previous LSCS. So the history came out late. Actually, she presented in labor. She was brought to the hospital in 108 in active labor with severe hypertension. There were no attenders, and actually she was left in front of a hotel where she collapsed. And emergency LSCS was done, and there was impending rupture. The consent was taken with the sign of RMO. And then in the post-operative period, I noticed this. She had these rods implanted in her leg and hand, and the history was that she had similar husband abandoned her this time, but then 2 or 3 years back there was Husband had thrown her from third floor 2 years back, and she had had these fractures. And still, after the family court and settlement, she went back to him pregnancy. This young girl always used to have kind of physical violence, which involved kicking on the abdomen brutally by husband, followed by loss of fetal movements every time. And third pregnancy, the parents brought her home, and she also was always anemic. So she was transfused blood, and LSCS was done, and live baby was given to her this time. So again, this is another patient who presented with APH. It was not surprising because she was a case of placenta accreta, but already as I was doing this survey, I just asked her if there was any violence. Very surprisingly, this bleeding was initiated by the kicking of husband on her abdomen. That precipitated this torrential bleeding, and she landed in hysterectomy with 10 blood transfusions and bladder involvement. So we might think it is APH, but what is lurking behind? So this case, again, I can never forget this lady. She came, she was brought in by her young minor daughters, two young little girls, and there was no one, and she was in shock. With no, we kind of initially target the
We are not able to hear you, ma'am. The video is stuck. Madam?
I'll put my video off.
Yes, ma'am.
Because, yeah, because I don't think I have some internet issues. Is my
Yes, ma'am.
screen visible?
Screen is visible, ma'am. It's not in the PowerPoint mode.
Gayatri, is my screen visible?
Screen is visible, ma'am. Just put it
Is
as
it
slideshow,
visible?
ma'am. It's visible. Your screen is visible.
Audio?
Yes.
Am I audible? Am I audible?
Audible, ma'am.
Okay.
You have to just put the slideshow mode, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Okay. Right. So she was another patient with abortions history who had severe form of physical emotional violence. The domestic violence history was brought out only by asking and screening, and then we finally could tubectomize her and send her home. So why this abortions? For not bearing a male child, and intimate partner violence is a consistent and strong risk factor for unintended pregnancy, induced and unsafe abortions. So this was the case which I was telling for not willing for sex, and this another patient had, she was 6 months pregnant, and there was vulval hematoma. And this is a case, again, very, very unfortunate. She was pregnant and husband was inebriated and he attacked her with a knife for some small, I think he asked for money and she didn't give. There were lacerations on face, perforation in the uterus and IUFD, and we had to do laparotomy and rent repair. So such cases where husband goes unpunished. And here the police case was made, but most of the cases they are unwilling to go and report to the police or come out for the violence because they have no support system available. Their own family doesn't give them the honor, respect, and all. So, what is our role? So, when we really went into it, what do we do? Yes, we know that there is violence. What can we do? So, what the least that we can do is to understand that there is widespread menace and how it intersects. Let us get. We have to be aware of how it intersects with various health issues in women, and especially in pregnancy and postpartum. So, what is our role?
Ma'am, it's visible but not audible, ma'am.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I don't know what is happening with the internet. So why health systems? I'll try to finish quickly before I lose it again. So healthcare providers, why we are coming in the intersection between the university, students, patients and all, because we are trusted by women and we serve as role models in the community. We are looked up to, and violence is an underlying cause of injury and ill health. So we have to be there for the women. And then what are the opportunities for us? Every time when a girl comes to us with adolescent issues, pregnancy, family planning, and then what about screening? So pregnancy is a high risk condition. Do we do require to do a screening, which we had done in our study? Pregnancy being the unique time, they come into more frequent contact with health services. We have increasing opportunities, and we can decrease the acceptability of domestic violence among both health professionals and patients. And pregnant outcomes for abused women are worse than those for non-abused women. Then can we how to elicit history? There are indirect questions. Is everything all right at home? Or are you getting on with your partner? Then there are certain tools like hark, asking about humiliation, afraid, rape, and kick. And then there are a lot of screening tools like abuse assessment screen, hits, vast, and all that. And there was some hype definitely a few years back that we have to screen all the pregnant women, whoever comes to us. But now UNICEF and WHO, after careful consideration, it recommends that health professionals, they have to be trained in the first line response to family violence. And we are 10 of us from Foxy, Ramani Madam Seniors, Krishnendu Sir, and Deepa also is there. We have been trained in that survivor centered UNICEF program from Foxy, and that has helped us, is helping us to take the DIRA module for OB-GYNs also. The steps are to lives model, listen, believe, inquire about needs, validate the experience, enhance and offer ongoing support. And please do not do universal screening or routine inquiry, because that may endanger the safety of the woman, because there can be potential harm of clinical inquiry and subsequent interventions if we are lacking. By asking and screening, we are not going to help the woman and we are going to do more damage. So what can we do? First, we should do no harm, but we can identify the violence, give an empathetic response, give clinical care, give referrals as needed. We can document and we can provide the medical legal evidence whenever required, and we can act as advocates, as community role models, which DIRA is a great example. So this is the survivor centered approach that I was talking about. Our approach should be centered around the survivor. We should not be thinking about ourselves or the country or any other thing. It has to be first safety as far as survivor is concerned. Then this is the approaches solar. When you are listening to the patient, sitting position, open posture, leaning forward, eye contact and relaxed. This is the solar mnemonic for approaching the survivors of the violence. And also the lives approach, listen, inquire, validate, enhance, safety, and support. This is a lives approach which UNICEF advises. Then what are all the remedies? The Constitution is there, National Commission for Women is there, Dowry Protection Act is there, the 498 IPC is there, and the most important Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005 is there. And there are these one-stop crisis centers, all of you in Tamil Nadu must be very much aware, which is one in all medical, legal and psychological caters to the needs of the women and survivors of all the victims of abuse. This is a center in Madhya Pradesh. This was Bharosa, which Shanta madam along with us, we all visited. It's a state-of-art center and everything is in place here, the legal help and everything. And the helpline is 100 and it will be redirected to Bharosa if it is violence. The woman can just walk in without any fear. And there are 234 one-stop crisis centers all over India. These are now called as Sakhi centers. And what does these one-stop crisis center do? Medical treatment, social reintegration, custody, that is shelter home, rehabilitation, psychosocial counseling, legal support, police assistance, and the forensic DNA test if it is rape or sexual assault. And these are all the helplines which are available, accessible, which we should be aware of. And we can display this in our clinics and we can put out in our clinics that we are against violence and this clinic does not tolerate violence against women, and we can display these numbers or the Sakhi Center helplines. And then this is about the FIGO working group on violence against women, from where Shanta madam has started her international kind of projection for Dhira. Everyone recognizes Dhira even internationally now. And this is a public forum which we first started in 2016 with Barosa. This was with police and State Commission for Women. Everyone had come on to one platform with lot of media coverage. There was a lot of buzz and lot of orange color thrown into the skies by means of balloons and costumes and everything. And finally, I would like to end with saying this. I like this quote very much, which is true. Many women in many parts of the world speak the same language. It is the language of silence. This was said by Anasuya Sengupta. So, but with Dhira, we give a voice to the women, we give courage and confidence, and we can become their voices and help them as much as possible. With this, I end my presentation with extreme gratitude and pleasure, and for all the love, warmth, and affection from Trichy Society, right from J.M. Kannan ma'am to Ramani ma'am, and coming to Chamila, then Malti madam and Deepa, everyone, Gayatri. Really, it's a pleasure and privilege for me to be here for this. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for being with us. I know the internet was not very friendly to us today, but still you made real justice to it, ma'am. Thank you very much.
I hope it was audible or it was.
It was audible, ma'am. It was audible. Just that we had two disconnections. It was audible and everything was visible very well, ma'am. And beautiful slides on how all violence can affect our health and how much it can really matter to the maternal health. Looking forward to it, ma'am.
Thank you, guys.
As a token of our love and affection, we have a memento and
thank you
shawl for you, which we'll be sending across to you, ma'am. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for all the love. I would look forward to visiting Trichy soon.
Yes, ma'am.
For
You should
good times.
be a speaker with us in person, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you.
Wonderful presentation, ma'am. We
Thank you,
missed you
Deepa.
in person, definitely.
Yes.
But,
I was regretting a
thank
lot,
you
but
so
I couldn't
much.
have made it on.
Yeah, it's a
offline.
very short notice. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Yes, thanks to the virtual platform, I could be with you today.
Yes, absolutely, ma'am. We look forward to more programs with you for Dhira. Yes, thank you.
We'll now have Dr. Lakshmi Prabha to deliver the incoming secretary speech.
Good evening to one and all gathered here. Happy New Year 2022. We're having a first physical and hybrid meeting of Triogs. It's indeed a great pleasure and privilege to be inoculated as Secretary of Triogs. My pranayams to our respected Foxy President, Dr. Shanta Kumari ma'am, the future FIGO President as well, I suppose, who has come all the way from Hyderabad to spend the day with us. And it's indeed a great pleasure, ma'am, to have you here. And she's always been whenever we called her, she was there. She was part of Triogs, and she has attended our annual CMEs earlier as well. I seek blessings from our ever inspiring Dr. Ramani Madam, Vice President Foxy, Dr. Preeti Kumar Madam, Chairperson of Safe Motherhood Committee, ma'am, Safe Motherhood, and you made a great difference in our Thai Nalan project, having Tamil Nadu Trichy's for maternal mortality rate has come down drastically because of your effort. Hats off to you, madam. Dr. James Kannan, madam, past Vice President Foxy, our guest of honor, Dr. Selvam sir, Vice Chancellor Bharati Dasan University, Professor Manimegalan ma'am, Director and Head Department of Women's Studies, Bharati Dasan University, Kirmani madam, who came virtually and helped us in launching our DIRA project. My dear respected senior and respected senior colleagues, my dear friends, together we shall achieve many more laurels in learning. With folded hands, I seek your guidance, support, and inputs from each and every member of Triogs. I'm sure with the guidance of Foxy and support from seniors, we shall do wonders in the forthcoming years. Deepa, past secretary, along with her team, did a wonderful work for the past 2 years amidst this pandemic situation. And she has set very, very high standards for me. I'm really very scared actually. As much I was scared of COVID when it started, I'm just scared to take over as this post as well. We shall continue to uphold the activities of Triogs both academically and virtually. Hope to work with support of everyone to do my best for the Triog. I'm sure with the executive members, we will make a special contribution and cooperation to the upliftment of Triogs. Our team, under the leadership of Dr. Malti, ever dynamic, enthusiastic president, our vice president, Dr. Tamilchelvi ma'am, who's always doing very well with as an IMA secretary, who's very vibrant and inspiring. Our birthday baby, Dr. Victoria Johnson, our joint secretary, Dr. Uma Velmurugan, our treasurer, Dr. Vijay Prabhacharian, who's going to help me in our financial needs, our dynamic executive committee member, past secretary Dr. Deepa, Dr. J. Prabha from government hospital sector, Dr. Abhirani, Dr. Shilpa, Dr. Gayatri, Dr. Akila, Dr. Sri Lakshmi, and Dr. Priyanka going to render their helping hands all the time and make Triogs a vibrant society. We as family will work together, help each other, and achieve many more. Thanking you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. We, the Masters of Ceremony, profoundly thank each and every delegate who attended this program in person and online for being a part of the program this afternoon. For a formal vote of thanks, I request Dr. Vijay Prabhacharian to propose it.
You give but little when you give off your possessions. It is when you give off yourself that you truly give. These are the words of the famous poet Khalil Gibran. Today, I would like to profoundly thank each and every one of you present here, physically as well as in the virtual platforms, as you all have given of yourself in terms of, as I previously mentioned, the most precious asset for busy doctors, that is our time. Our heartfelt thanks to our beloved and respected Madam President Foxy Shanta Kumari ma'am for her gracious presence and the wonderful message that she put across. As we all know, darkness will never exist when light comes. And we assure you, ma'am, that violence will not exist henceforth when we come across with the DIRA project in full-fledged. Our heartfelt thanks to our guest of honor, Dr. Selvam, the Vice Chancellor of Bharatidasan University, Trichy, Honorable Speaker Kiran Mai ma'am, who gave a beautiful, a lot of case presentations. Actually, some of them were really heart-rending. We hope after the launch of the DIRA project, all this will be reduced. I also thank our distinguished guest, Dr. Manime Halai from the Bharatidasan University, our guests of honor, Dr. James Kannan, Dr. Ramani ma'am, Dr. Preeti Kumar and Dr. Charmila, and our President, Dr. Malati, our outgoing Secretary, Dr. Deepa, and Uma, and all the EC members who have made the Triogs flag fly high in spite of the COVID times. I would also like to thank Sun Inca for the generous sponsor of this event. I thank Julius for the excellent audio-visual arrangements of this first hybrid meeting of the Triogs. We also thank the hotel management of Leetham Fort for their wonderful arrangements. Thank you all once again. Thank you.
I think we can call it a day. My heartfelt thanks to everybody for making this program a grand success. From our Foxy president to all the delegates, all the speakers, guests, and last but not the least, the hotel people, Hotel Lee Thamesford, Julius, Kathy Systems, who are projecting the audio visuals today. They've done a wonderful job. Mr. Rajagopal on the board here, and Sun Inca. They've always been very, very supportive to all our initiatives. Mr. Pechinathan, Mr. Durai, Mr. Jamir and team, they worked very hard to materialize this meeting within 3 days. We've just decided and gone ahead with this meeting in just 3 days. So thank you everyone from the bottom of my heart for making this happen and making this a grand success. Thank you.